Friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
What?
Hey, the Pro Show is on!
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Ryan Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay.
I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you, always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said!
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to ProVision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your coffee glasses. I'm going. Chop those now.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom.
From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies in the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Good afternoon, wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world. Whatever time zone you might be relaxifying, it's time to get back to stressifying the Holly Weirds. Lauren Connor is our co-pilot today. Lauren, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Weren't we just here?
Lauren, I believe we were. It's like deja vu all over again, as one yogi used to say. But Lauren, I'm sad today.
Okay, tell me why.
I'm saddened, Lauren. Today is a holiday. Do you know what holiday it is, Lauren?
I confess that I do not.
Lauren, today is the day in which one Marvin Montanaro came into this world like Chuck Norris, roundhouse kicking his way into victory.
No, I have it on good authority that his birthday was last month.
You've been talking to Snarky, haven't you? Lauren, today is his birthday. I verified it. I checked his Wikipedia page.
It's on my contact on my phone, but I have to remind him that it's his birthday last month. It's law.
And the month before that. And the month before that. Lauren, we have
except today.
Except today is his birthday. Lauren, I have put out the call to Marvin to join us today, to come on and celebrate with us. And you know what? He is being too humble. And we need everybody out there. We need you to start chanting the name Marvin in the chat. We need to, I know he's listening. I know he's feeling awkward. We need Marvin Montanaro now more than ever.
When the hate and the shifts stole your thrills, then took away your fun. Heroes gone, the stories rock, and movies turn to mud. But don't give up the battle, 'cause there's a man right by your side. He's winning versus Wokies every day. Marvin Montanaro. The truth is on your side. The fun don't have to hide. Montanaro turns the culture tide in the nick of time. Marvin is his name. Montanaro. Oh, sing it. Oh, sing it one more time. Montanaro. G-G-T-P-P. Haters can't hate on a guy so great. Faster than a Kessel Run, a trillion Kelvin hotter than the sun. Marvin is his name.
Happy birthday, Marv!
It's not my birthday till Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday the 14th.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh, next week is your birthday?
We finished Culture Crossfire, and I'm looking at my phone, and you and Lauren are blowing my phone. Oh, get in here. We want to celebrate your birthday. I'm like, what?
So next week is your birthday?
Yeah, for me, it's Tuesday.
I don't even feel up to playing it, but
for me, it was Tuesday.
You're not pulling our leg. It's next week is your birthday.
No, it's next week.
This makes me so happy.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
And the hate and the shifts stole your thrills, then took away your fun.
Stop it. Get some help.
Hey, folks, everything's going as planned here on the Pro Show. Nothing odd here. Lauren, you didn't tell me it was his birthday next week. Why did you not tell me?
I honestly didn't know, but this is perfect. It made my whole day. That was worth the price of admission.
It's really not your birthday?
It's really not. Like,
it's not your...
I'll show you my ID after the show if you
Dang it.
But
well, this is awkward. At least this didn't happen in front of, oh my gosh, there's 300 plus people here. Okie dokie. Well, welcome, Carolyn and Nat from Nat and the Guy. Welcome back to the show. Please tell me it's one of your birthdays. Please save us.
No, not for a while.
Kara,
2
just
weeks
shake your
ago,
head.
you're a little late.
Oh, we didn't even say happy birthday to Kara. Kara, did we say happy birthday to you on your birthday?
I don't remember. I think you guys did. I think I was in chat.
I was definitely on a stream where we were all being like, "Happy birthday, Kara!" So,
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank
Oh,
I
thank
don't know if it was
goodness.
a Pro stream or if it was a G&G stream or what, but it was one of them.
Well, at least we got one birthday right. Folks, if it's your birthday out there, if you're one of those celebrating, happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
All right, we got a lot of news to do. Let's get to it right now. Snarky Distinct Nugget for $50. 50! Good morning, Pro and friends. I have a special request I think you will enjoy. Can I have 3 minutes? Please look up AI Am a Jedi and play Bass Windows. These clones ain't loyal. It's clean, I promise. Please, sir.
Yeah,
Snarky.
Can I just say, Snarky asked me to do this on Culture Crossfire, and I will be doing it eventually. Snark, we weren't sure if the YouTube video would trigger a copyright thing, and if it was just on my channel, I would have taken the chance. But because Wizard's channel was connected to it too, I didn't want to take that chance.
Yep, and it has to be the same answer here, Snarky. We will do our best to play it. We may have to take some steps to protect next week, but we'll try to play it. In fact, I'll take the note right now because that is a $50 request. We try to do these as best we can, but we do have to do copyright runs and checks before we play anything. All right, so it's
I'm doing the same thing on my channel as well.
A Jedi.
I can tell you, it's an excellent video. It's got a banger of a song attached to it. I've been playing it all week.
All right, well, we're going to check it out.
Yeah, it was so I played one on that Park Place live one time. I played the Rachel Zegler Snow White trailer comments as a song, and we got a copyright hit for it. So
What was the most recent one that we got hit with?
it was that.
Oh, no. I can't say which one it was. We played something for a friend, and they had included like a year ago. No. Wilton's not a friend. He's more like a little friend of me. But it was from a year ago, and it was on a video, and we got dinged for it because somebody had purchased the song that was royalty free before. Some company had purchased it and then sent out to all the old videos the claims, and it was like, good grief. So we do have to be careful. Snarky, though, we appreciate you, and we will play a clip for you, sir, just to say so. Snarky dropping 20 WDW Pro memberships, and if at all we can, we will play that clip next week, Snarky.
Perfect! Wahoo!
Now, I am hearing that Valiant played it last night, so that gives me some more confidence, okay? Wait till the end of the show. Let us check it out and see if we can play it. Lauren, what do you think? Is it playable on the channel?
I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't hazard to guess. It's your channel, and I wouldn't play with it myself.
Hey,
I
Marv.
can't tell you.
Marv, do you have? You've got VR's number. Would you take a second and text him and ask him if he got dinged for it, or are we clear to go? If we can play it, we will. We've got Teddy D out there dropping a tremendous Fitty. That's why we call him Fitty D now. Teddy D, no more. His name is Fitty D, dropping Fitty memberships. Thank you, Teddy. You the man.
Oh, here we go. It's time to
every time a membership is gifted, a content creator gets his wings.
Was that gendered language?
We're not at Magic Kingdom, Dad.
A blindfolded half-court shot that is now the talk of campus and beyond.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Did you see it? Yeah. Is that on tape? Yeah. You are kidding me.
Wow. Wow.
All right, Packing Protons for 5 says this week on Pro's network of channels, we learned about gators in heat and the sound they make, plus Lauren's arm hole size. Hi, Jonas. Lauren, you want to tell them about your gators in heat? You want to take a stab at that one? No? Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, on That Park Place Live on Monday, I believe it was, Ron Bradley made the sounds that he listened to at Gatorland this time of year of gators mating. It's something I never thought we would do. I don't think we'll do it again. I'll be ready from now on to stop that. I apologize for those of you who were scarred for life. Snarky Distinct Nugget for 5. From tears to dancing on repeat for an hour after work, spectacular. Best Star Wars since the 70s. Lauren, you agree with this?
It really is good. It's a good song.
Valiant said he had no issue.
Okay. All right. Hang on. We're going to play it right now then. AI, Am I a Jedi? Is this on X or is this on YouTube?
YouTube.
And because there's no issue, Snark, I'll play it tonight on M4cast as well.
Let me look it up real quick, folks. Let me see if I can if I can pull it from X. That would be better for us. Says something went wrong. No, come on, X. Let's see here. Is it What If Michael Jackson trained Anakin Skywalker?
That is his channel, but that's not the video. The video you're looking for is These Clones Ain't Loyal.
Could you rephrase that in a Star Wars way for me, Lauren? Could you say something to the effect of, that is not the video you're looking for?
Sure. That's not the video you're looking for.
Thank you. That makes me feel better. All right. Looks like I do have to pull it on YouTube. Let's see. So this is Base Windows. These clones ain't loyal. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right. These clones ain't.
This is right up there with Jonas is back.
Oh, man. This is 3:56. This is 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Okay. All right. We're going to play it. We'll get to the news in a minute, folks. This is worthy. This is worthy. All right, here we go. These clones ain't loyal.
Commander Cody, the time has come, homie. Execute Order 66. I'm still alive, motherfucker. Riding in the gunship, me and my squad. Thought we was day ones, now they coming in too hot. Deflected every blaster just to keep you in the mix. When did y'all start playing? Hit me with that 66. Got my 5-0 first boys with my day one shooters. I have had it with these motherfucking dancing clone troopers. These clones ain't loyal.
No, they ain't. Lightsaber keytar. Now we're talking.
This is a RAM shortage. I'm okay with it.
Told that boy Skywinker take a motherfucking seat. Now he marching in the temple with the 501st Fleet. I was slapping on the bass, just getting ready to record. He told me I think this chancellor is a motherfucking Sith Lord. Got my 501st boys for my day one shooters. I
You know what? Snarky, for helping us find that, discover that, and making Lauren's day, all we can say is,
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro Channel, thank you.
That's going to be in my head for the rest of my life, so thank you for that. But the one that's been in my head for this whole week has been somebody did a video like that, but it's of the Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire scene from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and it is a banger. So I've been enjoying that one.
Listen, we've been talking about this for years now. We've said that 2026 is the start of audiences taking their entertainment back. And I don't know, maybe Disney right now is behind the scenes with their little fingertips, touching each other going, finally, he's played a video we'll get him for. But it's a good time. And I think we're about to thrive in terms of people making the stuff you want to see. Folks, I want to say thank you again to Snarky and to Teddy D. Thank you both. What a way to start a show. And then Teddy D for $4.99. I'm about to start driving north to Michigan to visit family and friends. Just wanted to kick things off. Later all, Teddy, hope you're listening in and hope that was a great time in the car.
Thanks, Teddy.
And Troy says, did anyone pick up the Wilton cake or Marv's? Oh, boy. Here we go.
You serious, Clark?
Moving right along. That's a little soft spot. Layoff for 5. Are potatoes purple? Is Lorne the ring bearer? Did Marvin then Wilton for the birthday gift? Or Ban, I guess. Wilton for the birthday gift. All this and more on the next episode of the WDW Pro Show. How about that, Marv? Can we make it up to you, buddy? For your birthday, we ban Wilton for the day. No Wilton.
We already don't usually have him on, so.
Yeah, well, we're trying.
Go fund yourself, Bob.
Say what a difference it would make, but, nobody watched to begin with, so.
Bald Hoplite for $4.99. You're my hero, Marvin.
Thank you.
You're our hero, Marvin. Look at you. Editor of 2 websites, rocking and rolling. Got your own YouTube channel, thriving, surviving, driving the Hollyweirds mad. Way to go, Marv.
Thanks. We're doing all right.
Could you, forget that we mixed up your birthday in front of a live audience? Nice. Thanks. Packing Protons for 2. Is that Mr. Rogers on saxophone? Probably Jack Black. Jack Black plays the saxophone.
Yes, the two of them get mixed up very, very often.
They look so similar. And the Cardigans. Packing Protons for 2. Lorne is a sadistic monster.
Yes.
What'd I do?
You laughed so hard that we mixed up Marvin's birthday. You enjoyed that so beyond normal.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And no, I'm not going to go into it. I'm learning now. The things that make you laugh, I'm learning now. Layoff for 5. You know what happened? Jigglypuff happened on Nintendo and Marvin.
I don't think Jigglypuff happened on me, but there's a lot of Jigglypuff merch in my house because my wife is obsessive about it.
Were you asleep last night?
She briefly.
Well, Jigglypuff happened.
She just got Jigglypuff in Pokopia, so she's been in a very good mood for the last 2 days.
Jigglypuff. Snarky for 2. Way to go, Teddy D. And we agree. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've held you long enough. It's time to hit the news because that's all we know how to do except for screwing up birthdays and a few other stuff. Folks, get ready. Let's dive in. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great show on the way. We've got a panel of excellence. We got Christian Toto joining us later, as well as Jonas J. Campbell, intrepid reporter indeed. So let's dive in right now. 1,000 layoffs happening. Oh no, Josh tomorrow not changing things at Disney? Well, it looks that way. The former mousy messiah, Bob Iger, CEO of the company, is gone, but changes have not switched over in terms of layoffs and move-on-overs get out of here from the Disney company. This out of Deadline by Dade Hayes and Patrick Hypes. Disney to lay off up to 1,000 employees in first cuts under new CEO Josh D'Amaro. But lest you say, oh, Josh, what have you done to us? Folks, it's not his fault. And Deadline and the other Hollywood trades are making sure they say that over and over and over again. No, don't blame Josh. Joshua had nothing to do with this. Disney, it says, is planning to lay off as many as 1,000 employees over the next few months. Deadline has confirmed the first cuts to come from the entertainment giant since naming its new CEO, Josh D'Amaro. The company's global headcount stood at a bit more than 230,000 as of the end of the most recent fiscal year, with most of that being part-time theme park workers. Yeah, I got a feeling that's not who they're cutting. In January, the company upped veteran exec Asad Ayaz to chief marketing brand officer after announcing a plan to consolidate marketing at the film, TV, and streaming operations and eliminate duplication. Many of the cuts announced as part of the new round of layoffs are related to that move, according to a person familiar with the reduction. So let's play the game along with Deadline. Let me show you how they like to frame it, because it's all in defense of Disney and protect Josh tomorrow. Disney is planning to lay off 1,000 employees, they say. Then they tell you that, well, there are 230,000 employees. What is that for? Well, it's to make you think this is a teeny-weeny, itsy-bitsy percentage. Don't worry about it, okay? And most of the 230,000, they're part-timers, right? They're theme park part-time workers. They're sprinkling pixie dust on the tilt-a-whirl or whatever they got down there. And then what do we find out as we go deeper into the article? Well, we find out in this paragraph right here that most of the 1,000 are hitting film, TV, streaming. Dana Walden is in charge of all that, right? She was in contention to be the CEO. Dana Walden, the pick from Bob Iger, it's her people. It's not the theme park people. It's her people. And because this is aimed at that group, that's a much smaller group of people. But you know what they don't do, Marv? They don't come out and say, by the way, you know how we just listed out for no reason that we can figure out the number of part-time theme park workers? Here's the actual number of people working in TV, film, and streaming operations. Because I bet you it's a lot less. And I bet you that percentage would look worse for Disney. We'll read more in just a moment. But Marv, your thoughts on the way this has been framed by Deadline and the protection that's happening for Josh tomorrow?
If they were to point out that they were losing a large percentage of their TV and film and streaming, staff, it would probably cause a panic with investors and the stock would drop even more. So that's probably what they're trying to avoid by trying to say that they're pulling it from the larger pool of 230 or 250,000 workers. But it sounds like, from what I had read in other posts, that they're saying this isn't Josh's decision. This was put in place before Josh took the reins, which means this is a Bob Iger decision. So you're telling me Bob Iger did something that's going to be deeply unpopular and then jumped ship in his escape pod to let his successor take the blame for it? This is my shocked face.
Well, that's interesting you should say that, Marv, because I think it's another defense of the Walt Disney Company currently and not the Disney past. Let's talk about this. And as we do, Nat, I'm going to go to you because this is so fascinating to me. The defense that's happening out of the Hollywood trades says, while the layoffs are noteworthy, they are a fraction of the size of the cuts overseen by former CEO Bob Iger, that meanie. Oh, wait, we were supposed to worship at his mousy messiah feet for like a decade. Mean old Bob Iger, he cut a lot more people when he rejoined the company. From 2023 to 25, multiple rounds eliminated some 8,000 workers, achieving cost savings of $7.5 billion. The figure came in far higher than Disney's initial forecasts. At Disney, the most recent layoffs, part of a wave of cost-cutting and streamlining the media industry, aka AI, came this past June when several hundred employees around the world were cut across divisions of Disney Entertainment. It says the June cuts were the fourth and largest round of layoffs in 10 months that had affected various Disney television operations. And it goes on to talk about when Josh D'Amaro came in, aka Josh D'Amaro had nothing to do with this. There's just one problem, Nat. He's the man at the top now. He's the big boss. He's the big cheese. Josh D'Amaro could have looked at these 1,000 positions being cut and said, you know what? These people have families. We love our employees here at Disney, and I'm going to be the guy to stop these layoffs, and we're going to change direction here under me. He did not, but the trades are framing this as if it's mean old Bob Iger, who they loved just months ago. Nat, what do you make of it?
Well, we always see the shifting. I don't know if I would say loyalties, but it's always good to have a fall guy. And I guess now they're turning towards Iger. I don't know if just for this or just fully. But at the same time, when new CEOs come in, we always do see these rearrangements and changes. So might they just be saying that these were planned beforehand so it doesn't all fall on the new CEO that they want to start propping up? And instead, they know kind of people don't really like Bob Iger that much. So now they can go after and say a bit more of the truth, maybe.
And Nat, what do you make of the idea, too, as a follow-up? They talk about the part-time theme park workers. What I find so fun about this is, it's really hard to replace part-time theme park workers with AI. It turns out you have to have somebody standing outside the Bippity-Boppity boutique to tell the kids, come on in and get your hair cut. It's the positions that can be replaced with AI that they're cutting. But nowhere in the trade, nowhere in Deadline do they say, yeah, it's related to that. But it seems to me, Nat, clear as day, Disney is trimming down the positions that they can now replicate using artificial intelligence. What do you make of that?
I don't think they'd come out and say it right away because that would create mass panic, I guess. But at the same time, acknowledging exactly that there are still positions and work that is necessary that humans do. And I think that should be the focus, maybe, that should be the ones that we should be saving. But at the same time, what would it look with AI? And that question, I don't think they're ready for, because that would be admitting too much that positions might have become irrelevant now.
Absolutely. Now, if we look at the Disney stock, the Disney stock is improving, and that's largely because the rest of the stock market is also improving, and that's, well, in no small part due to the conflict in the Middle East, maybe getting ready to wrap up, and so tensions are easing, and people are hopeful that oil prices will drop and all that kind of stuff. But Disney now hovering near the $100 mark, and Kara, it seems to me that Hollywood has a vested interest, and the trades are definitely part of that, in doing everything they can to rescue this Walt Disney Company. They don't want this thing dropping into the 80s or the 70s. So trying to help Josh D'Amaro as much as they can seems like a strong plan for them as they're trying to save the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know a ton about stocks, and it's not something that I'm very knowledgeable about. So that's why I watch people like you and Valiant and that type of
Kara,
stuff.
I need you to say that you are giving financial advice, and then
not.
please
Do not
give
follow
us,
me whatsoever with that.
and then tell us all about your crypto strategies that you've been doing in secret for 10 years now.
I've actually have zero crypto, so
Don't listen to her, folks. She's
not
sitting on
good
a
at that.
pile. She's sitting on a throne of Bitcoin.
I'll be completely upfront. This is a topic that I am not very knowledgeable about. This is why I watch people like you, because it's something I'm not very good at following. But I do think it's very interesting to kind of watch in real time as these companies such as Disney and other big like tech companies are really starting to prove what a lot of people were worried about with getting rid or like replacing human jobs with AI. And it's kind of scary. Like I've seen it in real time with people close to me, with their teams being laid off and replaced. So it's just it's solidifying those kind of worries that have been kind of stirred up, and it breaks my heart, but at the same time, like this is what people are pushing for right now.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Lauren, if we look at it, we don't all have to be experts in every single area of what Disney is up to, or Hollywood, or the trades, or stocks, or dividends. You can easily see that the way the media treats Josh D'Amaro versus Bob Iger, it's fascinating. It's like the baton was handed off, right? So now Josh D'Amaro is the head of Disney, so he gets all the positive press coverage, and you can throw mean old Bob under the bus now, but you couldn't do that before. It was not allowed, verbatim, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's not necessarily unexpected. We're still kind of in the honeymoon phase for Josh D'Amaro. I think that he does have a little bit of grace time to kind of get up to speed and figure out what he's going to do as the CEO. I do think that he's been a little bit complacent thus far and has allowed Dana to make some moves that he may regret in the future. So I am curious to see if he does anything to try and solidify his position. And that may be part of why the press is coming out with stories this way. He may be exerting some pressure to make himself look better than he might otherwise, If I were in his position, I would immediately be trying to shore up my position as best I could.
All right, well, let's play this game. We've gone around the horn. Let me wrap it back at the guy that we started with, Marv. Marv, if this was David Zaslav, or if this was the Ellisons, would the media cover it this way?
No.
And why not?
These people have families. It would be all that, because Disney, for some reason, there is a special preference given to Disney by the Hollywood trades. We see it with Variety a lot. We see it with the Hollywood Reporter. We see it with Deadline, all owned by the same company, by the way. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, man, they are pretty on board with everything Disney wants to do.
And they'll defend them. They'll defend who's ever at the top of it.
Well, the question now becomes, could Josh D'Amaro have said, I'm going to undo these layoffs? Or is Bob still the chairman of the board and Bob is still calling the shots?
Well, he's not the chairman of the board anymore, but he does wield serious power. He is there as a consultant. And I think that these are probably beneficial cuts to the company, not to the families, obviously. And we never take joy anybody losing their jobs. That's a sad thing. But I bet for the company and for their bottom line, this is a positive. And I bet Josh tomorrow probably looked at it and said, and I'm speculating here, but I bet he looked at it and said, you know, I'm pretty happy these decisions were made and they're underway, and that this will go down against Bob Iger and not on me. This is all positive. This is great, boys and girls. And that's where we are with Disney. And the trade's only too happy to cover it in the smiling way they do. Remember, Disney has 230,000 employees, so this is very few. Now, a very small percentage. P.S. Please don't read down in the article that most of those are part-time theme park workers. It's looking, ladies and gentlemen, like it could be all over for Avatar. And we've got multiple signs pointing to just that. Hang on, we'll get to the big one in a second. Out of the wrap, though, there he is, James Cameron. He's the guy. There's the characters. You don't remember their names. Neither do we. Oh, okay. Maybe you remember Jake. Oh, whatever. All right. But Drew Taylor, you'll remember that name. He's the author here. When $1.4 billion isn't enough. Avatar sequels under the microscope as Disney weighs franchise's future. And I think I know which way Disney's going to decide, because I've got the evidence to point to in just a moment. James Cameron's latest installment could be the midpoint of the series, or it could be the end. This article goes on to talk about the backstage at the Saturn Awards, where we've covered that before with Kurtzman and what he said about the message. But it talks about how James Cameron was asked about, what's the break even? And he said, we got to make a lot of money. We got to make $1.4 billion to break even on these films. We've talked about that. And everybody's kind of wondering, everybody's kind of speculating, how do they get the cost down? What's Disney going to do? Surely Avatar 4 is on the way. He's working on it, right? Well, here's the latest. Here's what you need to know. From Gizmodo, whether you like Avatar, whether you dislike it, whether you think it should survive, whether you think, no, it needs to go away, Disney is getting ready to cobweb the franchise. Jermaine Lucier is writing this, and again, this is disconnected from the wrap. This is disconnected from the same departments inside Disney. And so when we see this start to happen on multiple domains, that's when we pay attention. It says Disney might be rethinking its newest Avatar land. Plans for an Avatar-themed space at the Disneyland Resort might be in danger after the release of Fire and Ash. Well, what's this about? Well, before we read it, I just want to remind everybody out there that when we covered Avatar originally, this was like a year and a half ago, this announcement that they were going to put the Avatar, maybe longer than that, but they were going to put the Avatar land into Disneyland. I looked at it and said, it's a bunch of vaporware. It's a bunch of nonsense. And Marv can tell you, I mean, I don't know how often we do this where concept art comes out from Disney and we say, that's not real.
It's not
Right. And so there's an example of the concept art of what they were going to put in Disneyland. It can't fit there. This can't go there. They don't have the space for it. They just don't. So we always had skepticism about it. But it says, anyone who's been to Pandora at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando, Florida, knows how magical it is. And again, they can't put that in Disneyland. Stepping into the world James Cameron's Avatar is truly awe-inspiring. With more movies potentially on the way, it was unsurprising when Disney announced that it was adding a second Avatar-themed section to one of its parks, this time at Disney's California Adventure in Anaheim. Now, however, a new report claims that this may not be happening anymore, and it might get taken over by another Disney franchise, Zootopia. This week, The Wrap has an extensive report about how even though James Cameron's third Avatar movie, Avatar Fire and Ash, grossed almost $1.5 billion, it may not have been enough to justify 2 more sequels. Clearly, this is a large, complex issue, one that Cameron himself has addressed. Case in point, the area where Avatar Land was expected to arrive in California Adventure meant a current Monsters Incorporated ride would have to go away. Disney originally announced the ride would be closing in 2026, but recently that was delayed until 2027. Why would the ride be scheduled to stay open longer? Most likely because construction on the new area has also been delayed, and there could be a good reason for it. According to former Imagineer Jim Scholl, the reality is Avatar 3 did okay, but as a culture force, it's exhausted. Nobody is demanding to see more. They like what they have, and if they really like it, they can go to Florida and see it. California does not have a lot of land. If Avatar had been a huge success and people were demanding 4 and 5 and beyond, that would change the equation, but there's not a lot of demand. So what are they talking about instead? Zootopia 2, and moving Zootopia into Disneyland. We'll talk about it. We'll show you what we got here, but Marv, I go to you first as somebody who covers the parks extensively. This makes a lot of sense financially, but it also points to yet another data leverage area for Disney where maybe it's over for Avatar if it's not a big franchise, and if we're already questioning budgets on the movie side, but also, hey, no more lands. What say you?
If you have a choice between Avatar and Zootopia right now, you go with Zootopia. Zootopia is infinitely more culturally relevant than Avatar. They've got, I think, a bright future ahead for Zootopia sequels. It's huge in, all over the world. Whereas we're starting to see diminishing returns with Avatar. 1.4 billion, nothing to shake, your head at. It's a great box office haul. It's not a great Avatar box office haul.
And remember, Marv, just like the Villain's Land, when we saw this concept art 2 years ago, as it came out live, I said, "There's no way. They're not doing this. This won't happen."
We already have a domestic Avatar land. What we do not have is domestic Zootopia land. Shanghai has a Zootopia land. And I don't know if you've ever seen videos of it. It's not a huge area, but they pack a lot into it. And it is so well themed that I was just like, why don't we have this? Why is this not what's going into Animal Kingdom, instead of Encanto? Because it just seems like a much better concept for them. It is that Zootopia land they have in Shanghai is really cool, and I think if they brought that to Disneyland, that would be a home run that would actually bring people in. I don't know of anyone who is going to hear about a new Avatar land coming to Disneyland and be like, well, now I have to plan my trip to Disneyland instead of Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I'm going back to an announcement from Disney in August of 2024. It says, as Disney Experiences chairman, now CEO Josh D'Amaro announced during Horizon's Disney Experiences showcase at D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan event, we're venturing further into Pandora with a new destination at Disney California Adventure. While Pandora, the world of Avatar at Disney's Animal Kingdom, is based on Oscar winner James Cameron's Avatar film, this new destination draws inspiration from Avatar: The Way of Water and upcoming Avatar films to bring Pandora to life in a brand new way. Folks, you can see the concept art. We actually laid this out on Google Earth and figured out there's no way it fits. There was one location they could put it in, and as soon as we heard that wasn't the location, it was over. I mean, they made this look like, and this is what's crazy to me, the gaslighting from this company over and over and over. And this affects the stock. This affects investors. This could never fit in Disneyland. And Kara, now that we're getting close to the time where they're going to actually do it, now we're finding out, oh, wait, never mind. That's an unpopular franchise. So we'll just pivot to Zootopia. And this is what Disney does over and over again. They pull the rug out from people's feet.
I don't know. I think Zootopia is a great choice. It makes sense to have Zootopia there. It's going to be a lot more kid friendly. It's going to bring in more of the family dynamic rather than Avatar is more geared towards adults. That's a no brainer. I think Zootopia it makes sense. And I think that with seeing how the last two movies have done now, given I haven't seen the second one yet, but I really enjoyed the first one. So, I mean, I think it's a smart move, and I think it's one that they can back up with the investors. That it's going to make more sense in the long run for Zootopia over Avatar, and it's probably going to have a lot less upkeep in relation, because I mean, you've seen how water rides are being managed and breaking down all the time at the other parks. So having something that's not going to heavily rely on those mechanics, I think is going to be overall the smartest move.
Absolutely. And I'm just working right now because once I was reminded of the concept art, I got to show this to people. We've been talking about recently the size of things like with Villain's Land and all that kind of stuff. So the people understand what is happening here. Let me show this. So this is Disneyland. And this is the area that they told us that they were going to put this ginormous Zootopia. Let me go back to the Zootopia. Let's see if I can get that back on the screen. I want to show everybody this the size of the. Let's see, open image. Let's see if we get that. Okay, so here's what we were told. All right, see the pathway, see the mountains. I mean, this is crazy looking, right? We'll zoom in. Hang on, let me see if I can get that to zoom in a little bit so everybody can see. Just here we go. Look at this, folks. I know it's pixelated, all right? We're doing the best with what we got on the concept art. You've got an entrance here. You got all this. I mean, you have waterfalls and multiple lakes. This is what they showed you was coming to Disneyland. And remember, this was part of them trying to get approval from Anaheim. And this was part of, this was before a big stock announcement, all this kind of stuff. This is what they told you was coming. This is where they said they were going to put it. Like 6 acres. Holy cow. And you know, it looks like Galaxy's Edge that takes 14. This is what they do. And I know we could move that over into the bus drop off. So I got that. But Nat, I think Zootopia fits there. And I think Zootopia fits a lot better for theme parks because Avatar really is at the end, I think. And I just don't know where this franchise goes anymore. It's a really, really impressive tech display. I don't know that it has staying power as a franchise anymore. What say you?
And exactly. And I think we were just talking about AI. And given that AI can now reproduce very similar things, at the time, Avatar was this wonder of technology and of a bunch of things coming together so they could produce what we saw on screen and the special effects that were and innovation that was put into those first few Avatar movies. But now with AI, and especially younger people, I guess, would say, well, this could just be done with AI. What's the point? I was also thinking it was really funny that the whole generation almost got really obsessed with the Titanic and with ships just because of this one man, James Cameron, and the whole story behind it. And I found that fascinating that also during the heyday of Avatar, a lot of people were really into seeing how it was made and the innovations that were made, but now it's slightly more irrelevant. And ironically, I think in the park sense, I've never been, but I've seen a lot of reviews from people walking through, it really works well. I don't love that it's a Magic Kingdom, but it works well as a land and as an attraction. But now that's all it's been relegated to. But Zootopia, as Kara was saying, makes a lot more sense if you want to bring in those families and those kids and bring back Disney kind of to what it used to be and the audience it is lacking at the moment.
Absolutely.
It's still an issue.
I do want to give credit to the people who they were so creative trying to figure out how you could fit that into, you know, the parks. Now, that would need to be about twice as big for it to work scale-wise, but you got to give credit. People were trying to figure this out, and they were racking their brain like, ow, how does this, you know, and screw the monorail, but how does this possibly go in here? Lauren, on one side, I'm a little bit torn about Avatar. So I think with AI, Nat is right, but you could also justify the idea that we can drop the budgets because AI can just make the Avatar movies from now on. So that's a possibility, but I don't think we're there yet. But I just don't think audiences care about these characters anymore. I think that it was a demo. I think people loved the experience of going to the cinemas back in 2008 when it first came out, or whatever year that was, 2009. And then the second one kind of lived off of that, and it had a 10-year gap or more. And the third one proved, no, people don't care about these characters.
I think people have miscalculated where the problem is. I don't think the problem is the movies. I think the problem is the creator. I'm telling you, if you want more Avatar and if you want a theme park, then what you need to do is get rid of James Cameron. And then you bring somebody in who probably has acted, say, as a producer and may have some kind of an obsession with, say, English brunettes. And you have her come in and design a theme park and make sure that she lets upper management know that, look, we really don't want to go with these old things because really we're going to be making tons of movies in the future. That's what the future of Avatar is going to be about. This is going to be an entire themed land that's going to be better than anything that ever came before, and people are going to flock to it.
In that case, Lauren, we really need to get out some sort of terrible Avatar film that destroys the entire franchise and then base the land on that.
Well, don't forget a themed hotel. You really want to have a themed hotel with giant blue cat monkey people.
Oh gosh, can we include characters that never appeared in the movies but are made by, you know, some random guy who just thought this is a great idea?
I've believed that James Gunn, when he came out there and he was doing all those speeches and he was like, guys, you know, these movies cost a lot. We got to temper our expectations. We might not be able to do them anymore. What he's doing is setting the stage for now being able to turn around and being like, well, guess what? We're using AI now. We're using AI to generate things, to tighten it up, to make it less expensive. So now we can continue to tell this story that you all love so much. And isn't that worth it now? Because after what I said, you were all so afraid we weren't going to do it anymore. He's trying to avoid the AI backlash. It's not going to work, though.
Can I cut in on that real quick? Because
Please.
AI isn't always cheaper. I mean, these companies still have to buy the AI tokens. You've got to use multiple tokens to even try to conceptualize or to match a particular look. Like AI is not always cheaper because I'm like, unless it's, I wouldn't even say like a company like X, like they're still having to purchase the tokens.
Absolutely.
And it is taking more time to make these things via AI instead of just having somebody like 3D model something and instead of trying to get AI to make a 3D model and having to try and teach this AI model to make a prop that's going to actually function in a scene. Like, it's not always cheaper. And I think a lot of these companies are going to realize that the hard way.
Absolutely. I think with James Gunn, he also has an ownership stake in a AI company right now, which is a thing that kind of gets buried under the rug sometimes. So I think that if they end up using that also, James Gunn gets more money. So or not James Gunn. I said James Gunn. I meant James Cameron.
James Cameron. The other thing too, Marv, is
I think both of those things. I think it is expensive, and I think that's going to go right into James Cameron's pocket.
Yeah, Kara makes a great point. I think that's why maybe they're trying to set up the idea that this goes on hiatus while they wait for the prices to drop on those tokens. I think that's the play here, is put this thing into hibernation.
Well, the second one benefited from the fact that there was a 10-year gap, or more than that, between the first one and the second one, because then people had nostalgia for it. What we learn now is when it comes out 2 to 3 years after another Avatar movie, people don't really want it because they don't miss it. So I think you're going to see a larger gap for sure.
I think so. I think we're all right on this one. Folks, it's all right to put this one on the shelf for a little while. Will it ever come back is the question. And for that, we don't know. But one thing seems to be on the docket for Disney, and that is switching to Zootopia. We told you when this concept art came out, we told you there's no way they're actually going to do it. We'll put it back on the screen. Let's see if we can get there. We told you none of this was going to happen. We said it. It looks like none of this is going to happen. And wait till you find out what we think about Villain's Land and those concept art images they released to really jolt the stock. Yeah, stop the presses. We don't think that's happening either. Boy, oh boy, what a day to be Disney. Jonas, it is about time. Do you know how close we came to missing out on the guy who reads Super Chats?
Very, very close. Did you know there's a widgets button back here now?
You got a widget? Ooh.
I was looking at that. I wanted to press it, but I was afraid it would do something that we didn't want to have happen on the live stream.
We can add QR codes.
There's QR codes. They've added polls now. Like, there's StreamYards is they're adding some features.
Let's start clicking stuff randomly and see what happens.
Do you have a poll in the chat right now?
I do not.
Okay.
Do you want to put the poll in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you make that on your own?
Okay.
All right. How do we vote?
It pops up in the corner of the StreamYard.
Yeah, over Lauren.
Over Lauren.
Or Lauren's face. This is great.
So chat just needs to type 1 or 2 in chat, and it'll go towards the poll. And it'll go over Pro's face.
Are you for real?
That's neat.
This is like magic. Okay, wait. I want to vote. Wait. I'm going to vote for nothing.
It's not a YouTube poll.
Ooh, I dropped it down to nothing. Okay. This works. We have a new trick here.
Okay. And I don't know. I guess it does something, but it doesn't do anything on YouTube, which is where we really want that poll to be. But
is it really, though?
I mean, but it is
really
getting chat to interact, and that's people typing in chat is gonna bring other people in here. So it's still a win-win.
Yeah, it is.
And it lets me put down this darn cup of coffee for the first time in an hour. Oh my gosh.
Leaning on the meta there. I love it. Do you want me to read Super Chats?
You know what, Jonas? There's nothing that would make me happier.
All right, this one from Late Night Rabbit. Is that ready to go? For $20, just for appreciation.
Jonas, I'm going to click a button, and when I do, you're going to disappear, but I'll bring you back, just like a rabbit out of the hat. Lauren, you were trying to get in. Say it. What do you got to say?
Play the song when you bring him back.
Oh, hang on. Which song, Lauren? You want the one that Snarky sent us?
Well, that's a good one, too, but I was thinking Jonas is back because he's back.
Oh, you want that one? Okay, hang on. We can do that. Yeah.
Please, Emma, don't hurt him.
Thank you, Rabbit. Good to see you out there.
WJB Daily for 5. Layoff of 1,000 is a tiny fraction of Disney, but tragic to those acts. Difference from 261,000 from Google and 230,000 from Deadline is much, much bigger. How can they fire 230,000 from Deadline?
I don't think. I think we're talking about the difference in reporting from Google and Deadline, maybe. But I'll say this: we addressed this in the story, and I did not see the super chat until right now. But I hope that answered your question, WJB Daily. As a percentage of film, streaming, and TV, it's a much bigger portion of the people that have been let go versus when they include all the part-time theme park workers all over the world. Yeah, that's the way that you inflate the numbers.
Right. And the layoffs, if you've been in the corporate world long enough, you realize that layoffs are sometimes not really a cost-saving measure as much as they are a stock price-saving measure.
Bum, bum, bum.
Snarky D for 5. Credit where credit to VR for bringing it to me on his show last night. It was worth it. I understand the reservations. Thank you. We get reservations?
But isn't it cool that we did what we had to do, even getting in touch with VR to check how his channel did with it, and then played it for you, Snarky? We will go the extra mile every time.
That's right.
Night on mine. So
woohoo!
Layoff for 5. Wait, when did Disney have AI? I thought their horse took its ball and went home after cashing the check.
Horses get balls now? Don't stop. Erase that. Horses get to play with. Nope. Hang on. Let me try again. Horses get to have. I can't figure out how to say this. I didn't realize that horses had globular play objects that they get to take home with them. Ha! I beat you. I beat all you middle schoolers out there. I win. I said it the right way.
Something like that. Comics Dad. Hey, Comics Dad, for $2. Hail to the panel and the chat. Good to see you.
And hail to you, Comics Dad.
Arger Merchant for 5. If Tomorrow truly cares and wants what's best, I agree. He needs to make sure he isn't hit with the full blame, or Walden could take advantage. Iger's fault. Yep.
Right now, the trades are helping him out, so we'll see how long the shielding continues.
Satire Station for 10. I believe Avatar 4 would have broke even, and Avatar 5 probably initially lost money, but finished 5-movie series would have brought in enough to cover any shortfall for the final movies. Thoughts? Wait, I thought they're still coming, but they're going to try to find ways to reduce costs.
Well, Jonas, what we just covered is that Disneyland is now allegedly dropping Avatar, that whole expansion, switching it to Zootopia, and people are beginning to think, maybe this franchise is on its last legs, at least for a while. So maybe we've got that very long delay, and maybe Disney is moving on.
Well, or maybe Tomorrow's got some sense, and he knows that he can put in Zootopia a lot easier with a fully owned, fully controlled IP that can do whatever they want with it.
And maybe, Jonas, he looks back at that concept art that he showed us of an Avatar land that we said there's no way it fits there. And now he says, yep, there's no way it fits there. We lied to them. Quick, switch to Zootopia and come up with a reason for it.
There were only 3 earnings calls in a row where Bob Iger made some kind of statement to shareholders that an Avatar land is coming.
He's gone now, Jonas. Let Bob go, okay? He's trying to set sail.
Are you taking a nap, Marvin?
No, I'm here.
Kairu TK for 5. Characters will be developed by artists. AI will be used to storyboard and then generate films. That way they can keep copyright. I love the work you do.
We love the work you do, and that Avatar too. That's a good-looking Avatar. That's nice. That's real nice.
Avatar right there. That's great. Emotional.
I like that boulder.
Amphibian for £2. Jonas is back. Always gets me in the groove. That's right. Little bit of boy on a brownstone steps.
Bum, 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 bum.
5 WDW Pro memberships.
Thank you, Gilliam.
Whenever I go on camera, people are going to be so disappointed that I am as white as the fresh snow. Layoff for $5. At the 10-year development per film timeline Cameron had per Avatar film, he himself ruined Avatar with the playtime of the films. 100%, I think, his fault.
His fault indeed.
Yeah. I enjoy the Avatar films a lot more than I used to, though. I will say that. They are
Jonas,
a little too long.
What is your game plan? Because you, sir, have been described by many as a very handsome man. What is your game plan in trying to get the audience to believe that you are not as described?
I'll turn on the camera. That's one way to do it.
You look like Ewan McGregor, only 6'8". That's what I've heard.
Yeah, this is great. This is exactly what we need in the lead up. So here's
with
what
with a cleft chin like Gaston and muscles bulging.
Here's what happens. First of all, you got to get ready for the people who at first definitely will, no matter, you could be in perfect shape and they would say fat,
fatty.
And then I don't know. There's also I'll say I'm much cuter over the phone.
Oh no. Jonas, we're going to pump you up after this. We're going to remind you just what a good-looking guy you are.
This is a
somebody
thing.
In the chat on Tuesday said I look like Beardo's dad.
Beardo's dad? I can't believe.
I was like, what?
So, I remember in when I was in middle school, maybe high school, I still had this same voice in middle school, believe it or not. And I called a girl and her dad picked up the phone and, excuse me, can I speak to Lydia? And he was like, who is this? When you have that
who is this grown man?
Yes, exactly. So scrawny little Jonas Campbell back in the day, scared a couple of fathers on the phone. Oh, we've got more super chats.
Why is Morgan Freeman calling my daughter?
Hello, I would like to have your daughter's hand to go out on a date tonight for a nice butterscotch malt.
WDW Pro face reveal in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Camera on. Sorry. He was ready. Look at that. You look surprised. Archer Merchant for $5. Also, ESPN layoffs would hint they are fudging stream numbers, like mentioned previously. In my opinion, they're still flaunting Parks, but Walden's sector down.
Right. That's another great point. They're trying to hide that Walden is not performing as expectified.
Well, they're going with the 96 Emmy nominations that the news and live documentary segment got. So, there are defenses that they employ there for not bringing in as much money. Layoff for $5. Jonas is tall like Gaston, buffed up like Gaston, wearing his chic glasses like Gaston.
I think you got to sing it like the song. Jonas is tall like Gaston. He's buffed up like Gaston. He is wearing his chic glasses like Gaston. In a world of YouTube streamers, he is fancy. Look at that fella. Jonas is Gaston.
No one's going to top that. That's great.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, we would love to say that we get to keep all of our panelists forever. And if we could, we would lock them up, chain the thing, and bring them on every single day for you 24/7. Don't be worried, guys. But we have to say goodbye to two of our esteemed panelists. One, the birthday boy, Marvin Montanaro.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Marv, it's your birthday. It's your birthday, Marv, on Tuesday.
Yes, on Tuesday. And I'll be on the show Tuesday. So.
And will you be doing anything on your channel on Tuesday? Because I, for no guilty reason, feel like I need to send you super chats or gifted memberships or something to make up for something.
I believe the M4cast next Thursday is going to be the Marv birthday party. But tonight it is going to be legendary comic book writer Chuck Dixon in the house. And I anticipate myself, Kevin, and Lorne having a lot of very deep Batman conversations with him tonight.
I bet Kevin is so excited about this.
Kevin is beside himself. He has been texting me things he's been looking up all day. Like, he is so psyched.
That is awesome.
I want to tell everybody, don't show up for the Tuesday stream. Just don't show up.
What? What are you talking about? The pro show or his stream?
His stream. We got to make every day his birthday except for his actual birthday.
Oh, no.
Next Thursday is the party stream. The Tuesday will be my actual birthday.
So Lorne is now trying to send people away from a stream on a Tuesday when the stream will not be. This is getting to meta levels I can't even come up with. Lorne, tell the folks out there, what are you doing lately besides meeting with Chuck Dixon?
Oh, this and that. I will be on the stream tonight with Marv. And let me see, what day is today? Today's Thursday. So tomorrow night we'll be having the Lorne and the Apollo show. We'll be picking up with the cinema of 1981. So be sure to join us there.
All right, great stuff. Guys, we'll see you real soon. And we got more on the show, folks, because the Walt Disney Company appears to have dropped gendered language bans from the parks. Oh, my. We'll talk about it on the other side.
It's a super spring spritzel. Pedro's
to Ryan Gosling.
Well, would you look at that? Divisive culture war stuff for Disney is not going well, especially at the happiest place on earth. And now they're pulling it back out of thatparkplace.com. Folks, Disney Parks is bringing back ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Can you believe it? I can't believe they ever got rid of the thing. We'll talk about why in just a second. It's a gendered language major cultural reversal. It says, have you been exhausted by cast members referring to you as friend? Unable to say sir or ma'am? If so, don't thank the Phoenicians. Thank Bob Iger in a very strange moment in time in which Disney decided to go all in on divisive language edicts at their parks. But now that appears to finally be coming to an end, probably because it was super unpopular. Disney Parks has indeed begun quietly restoring gendered language such as ladies and gentlemen to announcements, attraction spills, and perhaps cast member training. It represents one of the most symbolically significant reversals the company has made in years. Disney did not merely drift away from that language by accident. The company very publicly moved toward more gender-neutral speech during its broader inclusivity push in 2021 and 2022, tying that shift to its internal culture, guest-facing presentation, and cast member guidance. Folks, you'll remember they pulled it away from the fireworks show and they said, oh, it's going to be friends now, or it's going to be dreamers of all ages. We're not going to say boys and girls. We're not going to say ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to say sir and ma'am. Jonas, you remember them bragging about this. We'll play the return in just a second. But Jonas, you remember them bragging about this, and even internal videos leaking out where they were so excited about what they'd done. They were so happy that they had removed gendered language that 99.9999% of all of us use.
Right. This is in the same video where Karen Burke was talking about how multiple children in her grown children were, let's just say, part of the Wi-Fi password community. And then was talking about another section of that same program. There was a gentleman talking about all the things they were putting into Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, a TV animation executive saying that she was putting queerness into everything. And then you go to this lady sitting behind a desk talking about, hey, they've incorporated into all their training the removal of that pesky gendered language from the parks.
And right here it is, Jonas, back in 2022, reported by WDWNT, Walt Disney World cast members now using friend and other gender-neutral terms to promote inclusivity.
I have to point out that you've gotten a lot of pushback on this channel in the comment section, people saying they don't do that. You've even had cast members say they don't do that. WDWNT is much more, let's say, friendly to the Disney company, and even they said that Disney does this.
The neutral, this is from WDWNT, 3-4 years ago. The neutral friend moniker allows cast members to address individuals without assuming their gender. Similar changes have been made around the resort, such as the switch from ladies and gentlemen to dreamers of all ages. Some cast members had already elected to use friend when they address guests, but has become commonplace in the last few weeks. In 2021, Disney announced the addition of inclusion as a fifth key, which serve as the guiding principles for company culture. Since then, similar changes, small and large, have been made across the corporation, and the parks have been no exception. The efforts span a range of demographics, making efforts to provide better representation and inclusion for active military veterans, deaf community, disabled community, people of every race, religion, and more. This was turned into an institutional policy at the Walt Disney Company. This was the norm. Well, folks, the gendered language, offensive as it may be, is back at Disney. Here are some clips from Theme Park Cheetah from the monorail. Well, I guess we'll have to go here. Here we go. Now, if you couldn't hear that, it said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Magic Kingdom monorail station. All right, we'll go here.
This monorail will be returning to the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're standing, please hold on to that handrail.
It says, ladies and gentlemen, if you're standing, please hold on the handrails.
Stay clear of the doors until the monorail stops completely and the doors open. If this concludes your visit.
I let it keep playing because I was hoping we would get the first time ever on the show that we actually play the Por favor, manténganse alejadas de las puertas. I was really hoping for please stand clear of the doors, but we didn't get there. Nat, if we look at this, as just a single story, it's no big deal. It's kind of frivolous. It's like, come on, guys. It's an announcement on the monorail. However, as I think Disney would like for us to cover that, I want to switch it to a different way and say, no, they made a huge deal about this a couple of years ago. They did, not us. And now they're walking that back, and they're not making any announcement this time saying, yeah, I think we're going to say ladies and gentlemen again. So we're going to make a big deal about this one. Is that fair, Nat?
Well, I think the virtue signaling ran its course. And especially now that you said, oh, they didn't say it in Spanish, the por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas. There you go. You could hear it. Especially with lots of international guests. And for example, English being my second language, not my first. Maybe referring to people that might not have the best grasp of English as friend might be offensive to some. They might have figured that out. They might have figured that it's harder to communicate by not using the gendered language that they used to. Some people might find it offensive from other cultures as well, for example. So they're in a catch-22 of virtue signaling, but also the culture shifting might be to thank, not to blame. I was going to say to blame, but to thank. However, we have seen a lot of companies that implement the changes on the surface, but then you dig a bit deeper and it's still all there. The whole virtue signaling and the old policies, they're just kind of waiting to see if they can shift the culture back to where it was. So while it is a small but very significant win, I would say, at least for now.
And I'll say for those who think we're just making this up again. So 4 years ago, I was talking to a cast member who was discussing the difficulty of these new rules for language. And they were telling me that it's rather difficult sometimes. Like, you need to be able to identify which kid it is you're talking to get down off of something because they don't need to be there, or you need to, like, there is a utility to gendered language. That's why we have it. It developed over very long periods of time. And so this cast member had tried to get creative because friend doesn't convey get off the wall. Friend doesn't convey, stop hitting Pluto. So they were trying to think of, how do I get around this? And so one of the things that they were using was princess, because Disney has princesses. So Disney couldn't ban the use of the word princess. So literally, if they were talking to a little girl, they were using the word princess so that they could identify that's who I'm talking to, that person right there. And this is especially important in places like the water parks, where you really do need to say, hey, you need to get out of that, or you need to get off the water attraction or whatever. So, Kara, you had cast members actually twisted, in all kinds of situations trying to figure out, okay, what again do I say to actually communicate to people in a normal way that doesn't sound alien?
Yeah, I mean, that having descriptors is very important. Like, whether you're in a workplace, you're in a family dynamic, everything, like it is important. So I am glad that they walked that back, or whether they want to admit it or not. It's one of those things where it is a little win, kind of how Nat said, that it is progress. Like, you're seeing that the things that a lot of individuals were saying was divisive or insincere or rude isn't actually those, and that they are in place for a reason. So it's good to have a little bit of sanity coming back, at least.
It is. It feels good. And Jonas, that's really the point. In an effort to make sure you never said the wrong sir or ma'am to somebody in a world that really doesn't exist even anymore, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years later, the Walt Disney Company took this to extremes from extremists inside the company who they placed these edicts down in the parks and the cast members and said, you're not allowed to use anything masculine or feminine, period. You can't use it at all. And then we got into this kind of alien speak where you went to Disney and you walked away and you said, honey, I think I visited a different planet.
Right.
I don't know what language they were trying to use to talk to me.
Friend. It's very strange. Unless you're saying my friend over and over again, which feels like I'm being haggled with while
It sounded like traveling. It was like Miss Rachel everywhere. It was like, hi, friend. Would you like a churro, friend? It's like, no, get away from me.
Right.
Keep your darn churros.
If someone says they're my friend and I've just met them, that usually means they're trying to sell me something. Plus, if you're going to address the crowd, you can say, ladies and gentlemen, and you can then go positive or negative from there. One of the phrases that they used was dreamers of all ages. I'm not going to come up to a crowd and deliver the bad news and start with dreamers of all ages. I need to talk to you for a moment. Dreamers of all ages, can I have your attention, please? That is bizarre and weird.
Right. So you're saying that if they came on the intercom and they needed people to evacuate an area rapidly, they probably wouldn't say, Hey, dreamers. Hey, friends. Your lives are in danger. Run, run, run.
Exactly. Please, dreamers of all ages, do not break out the windows on the monorail.
Well, that's a story we covered the other day on That Park Place. Folks, maybe they need to be focused more on fixing monorails and that sort of thing rather than gendered language. And isn't it nice that at least if the monorails are going to break down, they're now saying in the spiel, ladies and gentlemen, please stand clear of the doors. Nat, one more time, please.
Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas y permanezca sentado.
What a beautiful thing to hear again. You know, people love those. They love the monorail spiel, though. People have T-shirts that say, please stand clear of the doors. It's amazing.
Yes. I had a mug that had that on it at work. King of the Monsters, Jay, for $2. It's an American flag. Salute. Emotionally Unstable Amphibian for £2. Pro and Doomcock should release a duet together. He's got some pipes over there. I think Pro, that would be a duet I would sign up for.
We need people in the chat to tell us what would the WDW Pro and Doomcock album's title be. What's the name of the album that we're going to do together?
I have some ideas. Doge Pal for $2. Big N lawsuits not new. See the Great Gianna Sisters.
We'll be talking about it in just a few.
All right. Packing Protons for $2. Jonas is 5'3", Asian man named Al. No, he works at Film Threat. Troy Gustafsson. Jonas once told us he was 800 pounds. I might have said that one time. I'm not.
E Honda?
No. That we updated it for cultural appropriation. It's E Hondo now.
Oh.
Packing Protons for $2. Kurtzman Trek sets are being struck. Let's hope. Although I would just say sets being struck is written into the union contracts most of the time. And so even if you're going to start filming again, not that far off, they still pay the people to strike and put the sets back together. That's something that LW Ghost told us about. So,
which is a really funny thing about Hollywood. And again, it's yet more evidence of why the new media is going to win. Like, it's written into the contract. Hey, we're going to use this in 6 months. Nope. Got to tear it down. Why? Because then we get paid to put it back up again. Oh, all right then.
Exactly. Paula Vita Gamer for 10. AI will slow down due to current events as a major helium production facility was damaged. Helium-6 99.999999 pure is used in chip production. 15% reduction in output, plus it degrades in 48 days on ships. So shipping across the
So AI is currently doing something we've never seen before. You can like it, you can love it, you can dislike it, you can hate the thing, but whatever you think of it, AI is operating right now on what's called a super exponential. And so the power of AI is doubling every 18 weeks. It's moving so quickly right now that even the frontier companies that run these things are having a hard time introducing new features with it as rapidly as it's able to do said features. So it's really, it's going to be a different future, better or worse. And I hope that the wise among us are doing what's wise to keep things okay in humanity.
All right, deep breath.
That sounded like a not so secure sigh, Jonas. Are you feeling worrisome about the future now?
That was a deep breath in. That was what that is. The deep breath before the plunge, to use a Gandalf quote. Hawaii Dragon Star for 2. Instead of friend, use neighbor. If they want PC. Neighbor? See, the problem is if you start shouting neighbor in a crowd, that word can easily be misunderstood.
I love the idea of security at Disney walking up and saying, well, hello there, neighbor. Would you please stop slapping that guest next to you? We really do appreciate it, neighbor.
My neighbor. Hawaii Dragon Star for 10. Just use ladles and jelly spoons. That's actually that's wonderful. I come before you to stand behind you to tell you something I know nothing about. This Tuesday, which is Good Friday, is a mother's meeting for fathers only.
Oh,
I love ladles and jelly spoons.
My. Dragon Star wins the day. That's all there is to it.
Gailey for 5. Pro and Doomcock singing Death Metal by Dan Vash.
Let's do it. And get Harvey on backup.
That Dan Vash can sing.
He can.
I sent too many videos in a row to my wife. She's like, what, you got a crush or something?
Uh-oh. Trouble in Jonas Land, you say?
No. But his Amazing Grace is awesome.
Well, I tell you what's not awesome. What's going down with Pokemon?
Yikes.
Shall we dive into that one? Is that okay?
Yes.
Are you and Kara ready? Nat, I don't know if you're a Pokemon player. I am not. I don't know my Squirtles from my Pikachus. So we're going to lean on these two. Do you know, are you a Poke player?
No, I know the main characters, Pikachu and Squirtle you just mentioned, and Jigglypuff, but that's about my knowledge.
All right, Nat, we're going to try to hide that in this next segment. These two are going to carry us, and we're going to pretend like we know a lot about Jonas. Is it Mewtwo, or what is it?
You know who Mewtwo is. He's a Gen 1 Pokemon. You know who Mewtwo is.
Get out of here, bro.
I don't know nothing about this stuff. All right, let's dive in, folks, and we'll see if me and Nat cannot get flamed like Charizard.
Oh!
Why do you have that many Bidoofs in one ball?
I was out of Pokeballs. We need to get these guys to a Poke Center right away. Why? What would that do? So we can heal them? You can heal Pokemon? Oh, wow, I've just been throwing them away.
You are...
There's a ton of goodwill for Nintendo following the Mario movie and all the money that it's making, but that goodwill may be getting thrown away right now because a Poke disaster is here, and it's taking away some of the luster of the Big N. This by Jessica Lindstrom off of geeksandgamers.com. Pokemon Champions launch, free to start disaster with expensive subscriptions, and only 186 Pokemon. 186 Pokemon? And that's a problem? Kara, before we even dive in deeper into this, did you want 200 Pokemon? Is that the problem? What's going on here? Why do people want so many Pokemon? That's a lot of Pokemon, Kara.
Everybody's going to have their favorite Pokemon. Anybody who plays Pokemon has a favorite Pokemon, and it's probably not one of your main ones that are the most publicized. Personally, I am not too upset over it.
Well, just good.
Because, like, Pokemon Champions is a game that will be more so, it's going to be a live service. And if you release every single Pokemon on day one, like, the game will likely be dead in 6 months. So you want to add something over time that's going to keep people coming back to the game. Like, imagine somebody who think of all the heroes that there are in League of Legends. So, that are, like, you can either purchase them but think of where League has evolved from having a pretty limited lineup to where it is now. And adding those new heroes is kind of what's kept that game alive, along with, like, the competitiveness. So
that is a really good point.
I'm okay with this. This is something that's not bothering me. Because, like, you want to keep something for people to come back to and have a new experience.
That's a really good point that I wasn't considering. I'm going to throw one more wrinkle on that. Apparently, there were Pokemon in the trailers for the game that are currently not in the game at this point. So if I understand what this is, there's a debate back and forth about what this is, what the intended use of this game is, and so people are saying it's a child's game, and so it's not meant to cater to diehards. However, and you should read this excellent coverage by Jessica if y'all out there in the chat have not done that yet. But I think that this is going to be the esports title for 6v6, 6 Pokemon versus 6 Pokemon going forward. But the people who are the sweats on Pokemon Champions, or the sweats when it comes to Pokemon battling, they want to have whatever Pokemon they are used to having, and now they're limited to 20% of the entire roster of like 1,100 Pokemon. I think they're at this point. It's grown from 151 in the original, well, really 150 because no one was getting Mew legally, to 1,100. There's a lot of options there that are closed off at this point. The other thing is that it appears to be kind of a buggy mess. But maybe you want to talk about pricing first, Pro, because that's insane.
All right, tell us, how much does it cost for this kids game for kids to start playing it kind of looks to me like an esports game instead of a traditional Pokemon game. But how much is it going to cost a kid to get involved in this thing?
What if I told you it was free? It's free, therefore you could just let your kid play it, bro.
Hang on, I got to do a Mario for that one. Woohoo!
Starter packs, it is free to play. There's some kind of starter pack that's, I think, in the $7 range. There's a battle pass. On top of that, there's a premium battle pass. Also, there's a monthly membership. If you want to actually use your own Pokemon, you probably need a subscription to Pokemon Home on top of this. Kara, please correct me or add anything you like here. I'm a person who's aware of Pokemon, who has played Pokemon in the past. So it feels like trying to give myself autism going through all the different Pokemon playing aspects here.
Believe it or not, I actually am not that super familiar with Pokemon Champions. I know a little bit of it. I really don't play the competitive Pokemon games. I play more of like the story games. I've never done I haven't played TCG, like the trading card, since I was in middle school.
No, wait a minute. Kara, did you play the game where you had your phone and you went out and you tried to find the Pokemon in the real world? Did you do that one?
I did that for a little bit, but that was just whenever it launched, and I quickly fell out of that. I mean, I think that was really popular for about a year, and I lived in an area that was more explorer walking friendly. Now I live out in the middle of nowhere, and there's no Pokestops near me.
Yeah. So the thing that's happened with this game is that there are a lot of bugs on top of this. This is something that you take one of the largest fan bases in the entire world. Pokemon was the biggest toy seller in the United States and Canada, 1 billion in sales last year alone. And so when you say there is a free-to-play video game, basically Fortnite for Pokemon, launching April 8th, you're going to expect a lot of downloads. You figure this is going to be something that they want to have their best foot forward. But there's also a scale issue here. Whereas if you get a 1 in a million problem, if you get a 1 in 1,000 problem, and you multiply that by the potential player base and the many times that people would be booting this game up, you're getting items like Wolf is a content creator I just became aware of that is, I believe, a professional Pokemon player. He's soft locked out of matchmaking. What that means is he keeps trying to enter matches and it just stops it just spins as it says trying to do matchmaking. Or they don't have the genders on the Pokemon correct on some of the screens. And so it led to another weird article from Kotaku.
Oh, Kotaku.
Exactly. So this appears to be a glitchy mess, and it's a really bad foot forward on something that, okay, I can understand why kids would want to latch on to this. But if it's the esports thing, it's also not quite working there because I'm also hearing there are problems transferring your Pokemon in. They might be stuck in the game and you can't transfer them out because of glitches in either direction. So imagine having a star Pokemon that you have trained up, because it does take time to train these up. I guess you could pay to do that. And sending it into the game and not being able to get it back out of the game. So this they're already introducing patches right away. Hopefully they will fix all the problems, but this is really not a good foot forward here on the same week that the Pokemon Go championships are met with like bizarre disqualifications of wins because somebody celebrated too much because he raised his hands after he won a match. Like there's a lot of eyes on Pokemon right now in the competitive part of Pokemon, and there seems to be a ton of missteps going on.
And not just that, we've also got the patents being revoked by Nintendo. Like, what was that? Just last week, the week before?
Yeah, losing in court over this Pokemon thing. Yeah.
And you've got games like No Man's Sky that, as of yesterday, implemented was it yesterday or the day before? It was yesterday. Implemented a Pokemon type battle system in the game. Obviously, there's going to be some timing that they were probably waiting on the patent and all that going on. So there are obviously going to be replacements to scratch that itch. So they've got to step up their game if they're going to keep being the iconic Pokemon that they are. And like, look at how flawless Pokopia was. Like, it's been a month since Pokopia came out, and that has been a freaking phenomenon. Like, there have been almost 900,000 physical that's just physical copies of the game sold.
Well, I'm gonna push back on you just a little bit for the sake of the audience to say it's not really physical. It's the game key card that will allow you to download the game. So, and game key cards obviously very controversial. Yeah,
that is one of like my most frustrating like issues with Nintendo right now is the key. Like, you don't actually own the game, which is so infuriating.
The thing that we've been seeing as we're trying to cover this on Geeks and Gamers, and apparently the audience is showing up for Pokemon stuff on Geeks and Gamers, so we're trying to feed them that content. And like I said, I've been trying to get a better idea, even though I'm not writing it myself, before I go throwing a bunch of topics at our writing staff, who thankfully knows more about Pokemon than me. The things that I'm seeing, like, there is a base level of, yes, this is a fun game that your kids can play, but then adults come in and they kind of ruin it. And then there's also some maybe predatory tactics on the part of the Pokemon company. Like, there are 2 separate Pokemon trading card game apps, and they don't talk to each other. So this is a fascinating thing to watch. I hope that Pokemon Champions within 6 months is able to fix some of this, and they give a clearer roadmap for the competitive players who are looking to do this, to use this as their esports platform. But more importantly, you know, when a little kid really loves his Clefairy or his Lucario or whatever.
Is he speaking English right now, Nat? I've lost control now. I don't know what is going on. I want to make sure I'm not having some sort of cerebral issue.
My littlest was looking at some of the Pokemon cards that were showing up on Daddy's iPhone here, because I'm trying to do quote unquote research. My wife was laughing at me so hard, being like, "Oh, you have to play Pokemans for work, honey." It saw the Rapidash. It's a pony with a flaming mane, and she was just, ooh, so pretty. So kids get attached to these things, and if they're getting lost in transfers, that's a big deal. That's like a pet for some of these kids. So this is something that really needs to be fixed.
Now, at the same
they've
time,
got a lot of work to do.
At the same time, Nat, the whole Nintendo economy is positioned to do quite well if they'll just ride high off the Super Mario Galaxy movie box office, already topping $400 million at the worldwide. So it seems to me there's a lot of goodwill out there. People just want Nintendo to win. And it's kind of been an unusual situation for them because the Switch 2 rollout was a little bit contentious. There's questions about raising the price. People are wanting Nintendo to make the great stuff again and for the prices that they enjoy, but they can capitalize. Nat, what are you seeing in terms of the enjoyment people are having for the Mario movie and the love of all things classic Nintendo?
Well, I think it's just that. It is that nostalgia. And when we're now seeing everybody being tired of the superhero universes, multiple of them, because they've kind of gotten them to the point where almost nobody cares because there's just too much and there's too much to. But with the video game universes, Nintendo, Mario, Minecraft, etc., I think that is a lot of unexplored territory, and there's also a lot of merch, games, everything else that comes attached to it, and that people actually do attach so much themselves to these kinds of games and universes, etc. I think that is very beneficial to them. But I will warn, if they try to go too hard at it like they did with the superheroes, I think they're just going to end up with the same result. Although we have been seeing the being able to keep these I guess they're not franchises, keep these video games.
No, they're
I'm out of my
franchises,
depth a little bit.
That works.
Yeah, they're franchises alive for a very, very long time now. I mean, since their inception, there's still been people that are been interested in them for so long.
And Jonas, so that Nat and I understand, these are like Beanie Babies, but they fight each other. Is that?
Yes, and there's about 4 different battling mechanics that you can go through. Whether it's video games, of course, there's the anime, then there's the trading card game, and then there's the battling of the Pokemon, which is now separated on its own here. Pokemon is hitting its 30th anniversary in February, and I forgot about Pokemon Go in the middle of all of that. So we're 30 years in, and for this to be one of the biggest franchises on the entire planet, that's a big deal. One more thing, because it's this channel specifically, Pokemon is not yet fully into the theme park space in the United States, and it looks like Universal probably has those rights well in hand. When that happens, we're looking at something that could potentially, when they talk about Harry Potter and Harry Potter being the gold standard and the thing that all the theme park spaces wish they had, but Universal has it first, Pokemon is bigger than all of that stuff when it comes to kids and toys and adults. You've got these 40-year-olds that got into it when they were 10 years old. There's a lot of multi-generational ground to cover with this massive franchise.
Pokemon is here to stay?
I would say so, yes.
All right. Folks, keep those Pikachus then, those little gold cards from the 90s. You might just win with them by having them. Like Beanie Babies.
I don't get it. You see, phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, phase 3, profit.
All right, Jonas, what do the superstars have to say today?
All righty. England DG for $2. They already tried with Pokemon Go to the polls. Oh, it was one of the cringiest moments in American politics.
That's right up there with Down with Democracy. Good Lord.
Can you even imagine if the media actually wanted to mock her about that? They would still be playing that on major broadcast channels. Layoff for $5. 152 original, Jonas. Missing No and Variant were also part of that count. I didn't realize that Missing No was a part of that. So
I didn't realize that Missing No was anything other than a typo.
It is a glitch.
It is. It's the minus level.
From the it's very well. It's a glitched Pokemon from the very first game.
So you're saying it's Stitch?
No.
You know what's funny is Mew actually looks more like Stitch. But
what's the little girl from Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh,
Vanellope.
Yeah.
So it's the Pokemon Vanellope.
Don't you love how in the end of Wreck-It Ralph, Vanellope, the first thing she does is say, "We're going to have a democracy," and then she installs herself as president.
I love how they completely inverted all the characters' personalities and their ethos in the second one, so that you were like, "Oh, why did we care about the first one after all?" Then, okie dokie.
Yeah, insecurity as a plot line. Love that for a kid's film. DG for $2. Credit cards, got to charge them all. Pokemon. Yes, it is a very expensive habit.
Gotta charge them all.
Great video from Real Life Fake Wizard that popped up in my feed as I was doing research on no, Pokemon is not for kids anymore.
Jonas, at this
I
point,
will say, as somebody who I collect Pikachus. I don't buy the Pokemon cards.
I wouldn't either, but somehow like 1,000 of them have ended up in my house.
Hey, Jonas, you said it earlier. You said earlier that a great Fake Wizard video popped up in your feed.
Yes.
I just want to tell you that's redundant at this point. If Fake Wizard pops up in your feed, we already know it's great. That's all a man does.
He's very good at it. He is quite good to the point where I almost sent a video to my mom, and then I almost realized I would have to explain why there's a man in a wizard hat and a fake beard in the video.
Don't let it stop you, Jonas. Just bring them into his world.
Polyvita Gamer for $5. On the topic of Pokemon, there is a mod for Minecraft called Cobblemon. It does a great job of scratching that itch for computer players.
That and also the Digimon games. The Digimon games are actually really good too. I've always said, even since I was little, Digimon had a better story than Pokemon.
It does. It does.
So good. And even like the remakes that they did of they remade the original Digimon series, and it's been really good too.
All right. You like
Digimon
Pokemon?
games are great.
You like Digimon. What about Cinnabon? How do those stand up?
Oh yes. Give me one of those. Give the center. I want one of those. I'm hungry. Come on.
The mum for $2. French lawsuit on Ubisoft could change DD ownership. Daredevil, Dungeons and Dragons. Which DD are we talking about? King DDD? No, that's Nintendo.
Get out of that Kirby world.
Let's see here. Dogepal for $2. Pokemon Go started with only the original 150. That would be fine if they actually were doing the original 150. I think that would be more forgivable, like they were going for a nostalgia thing. But it seems to be a semi-random 186. So I don't know. Also, they're changing some rules here or there. Long Ruo, member for $2. Tokyo is getting Disney Sky while US gets Craterland. It does appear that Josh D'Amaro's next play is putting in more theme parks, which is something that they have shown will raise the stock price on the Disney company, even if those places are in more dangerous areas of the world. Not that Tokyo is. I'm not going to tell you which one I think is dangerous. Retro Meister for $10. I grew up with Pokemon and Digimon. With games, I only played Yellow, Snap, and Stadium. Its anime only had one good season and movie. Even though there were Digimon games, the anime was far better than Pokemon's. Yes, and yes. While the theme song is catchy, it can't really compare to that "Gotta Catch 'Em All" one we're always singing. Digimon did have a better lore about going back and forth between the digital world and the real world, though.
It was just so fascinating. And just like the story just had more life lessons in it, I feel like, as well with Digimon. And like, especially with the, they had their tags that they had. It's like the badge of courage, badge of love, and realizing like something that could be considered a weakness could actually be a strength kind of thing. And I think they had good stories in the Digimon series. And the first 3 Pokemon movies were pretty good too.
Yeah. I'll also say you could carry a Digimon to school on your keychain a lot more easier than you could get out a Game Boy. So Kaylee for $5. Does Kara have the Nintendo Power Cards, though? I missed that magazine. The counselors helped me get Mew from the truck.
No, I didn't really start collecting. Like I had cards and toys and games and stuff a little bit, but I didn't really start seeking out a lot of the stuff until I was like in college and moved out and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, there's a big gap of stuff that I don't have.
Yep. And Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle for $10. Good day, all. It's a pity about the dismantling of Starfleet Academy set. Instead, they could have had their own version of Disco Demolition Night and charged money.
Do we really feel sorry for them, though? Do we really? I sense some sarcasm in that.
You know, I think about that Star Trek TNG set that they put together for Star Trek Picard, and how much money they could have charged if they just let people visit that faithful recreation of the Enterprise D.
Makes sense to me. All right, well, folks, I am currently loading in some of the videos because it looks like we're going to hit that goal. Only 8 away from the Super Chat goal today. And when we hit it, you might just get some dandies like this one we played earlier in the week on that Park Place. And why did we play it? Well, because it turns out the Gators are in heat in a way that people have not seen in decades. The cold winter plus a warm spring has sent the Gators into a mating frenzy. And so if you want clips like this, folks, at the end of the show, 8 more Super Chats left to go.
I found the man who lives the life I need. Please high tide Harry. Will you marry me? He's high tide Harry. And he should
What a
marry
perfect
me.
day for a stroll with you, my dear.
It's magical.
And on that strange note, welcome Christian Toto to the show.
Good to be here. Sorry I'm late. I had a morning.
Christian, we have been saving the kind of stories that you would love to lift you back up, sir, because we know it's been a morning, but we're excited to have you on the show, and what a benefit it is to all of us. Shall we dive in?
Yes, please.
All right. Now, I will say that the first topic we have is contentious, okay? So just know, I don't know if you'll agree, disagree. You may have seen the thing. We're going to talk about the new Zendaya film. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
All right. And before we dive in, would you say that the Zendaya film that's just come out is not simply a rom-com as we were perhaps led to believe. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if we were told it was a rom-com. It was certainly a romantic movie. There's been a lot of noise about this film, and I think some of it is unfair, but we'll get into it.
I can't wait to find out what you have to say. Folks, let's dive in right now. Hollywood just loves putting messages in their movies. Brian Truitt out of USA Today back in March said, Oscars recap, One Battle beats out Sinners for Best Picture. So these are the films that Hollywood really loves to make. They enjoy them. They enjoy going to see them. There's just one problem. It turns out that most of you don't and won't. And that's why One Battle After Another lost a lot of money at the box office, even if it won trophies. Enter now from John Sexton out of Hot Air, well, a discussion that might be controversial about the latest Zendaya movie. And John Sexton says, are you ready to be lectured at the movies? John is unhappy. He's unhappy because he thought when he went to go see Zendaya at the cinema that he was going to see a traditional rom-com. He says that's the way that it was presented to him in the trailers, but that is not what he got. Here's what he says. It's called The Drama. And to be completely honest, the existence of this movie had barely registered with John Sexton. He's definitely not the target audience. The target audience is young people who want to see a rom-com starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. He shows off the trailer to the readers, says it's the basic setup. It's a rom-com with some kind of dark secret. In fact, the promotion for the film has been emphasizing that no one should reveal the secret or spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. Goes on to show the poster of it. It's got, she's got the bride's thing on, a little veil, and then he's got beaten up a little bit over there. But spoiler alert, here we go, folks. The secret that really is the core of the movie, again, spoiler alert. Folks, you didn't want it spoiled, get out of here. Oh, you don't care? Okay. The secret that really is the core of the movie is that her character almost carried out a mass deletion at an institution of learning for children's. Does everybody understand what I'm trying to say on YouTube? Did you get that? And this is actually what the movie is about. Now, not everybody is disliking the film. Jeremy Johns, who we love as a reviewer of film, great guy. He liked the film, but he did say that this is going to be the kind of thing that half of people are going to like, half of people are going to really dislike. Here's a little bit of Jeremy Johns on his coverage of the film, The Drama.
But yeah, I haven't seen Dream Scenario. I was like, this guy's definitely not American. I guess he lives in America. Yeah, he's Norwegian. Which kind of makes sense. Not that he's Norwegian, but that he's not an American director. I feel like most American writers or directors would be like, okay, and what gets this party started? What pops it off in this romantic comedy?
Sounds like he's about to say it.
Well, that's why we're pausing it 7 seconds later. But Jeremy, he's a pro. He knows what to do here on YouTube as well. But yeah, he's talking about essentially it's not what you would expect out of a rom-com. Now, Christian, I don't have a problem with covering these kinds of topics, very taboo topics at all. But what do you think about the idea that Hollywood, at least the marketing side of this, somebody somewhere, maybe at A24 said, we don't want to have what happened when we just openly, transparently present what this is about. We need to tamp this down. We need to present this in sort of a rom-com way. What do you think about that? Or am I completely off base?
Usually I'm pretty aware of the marketing campaigns. I have to say, I did not follow this one aggressively. It seemed a little atypical. It certainly wasn't a Kate Hudson, frothy Matthew McConaughey affair by any stretch of imagination. And again, I in my review, we're going to get into the secret. We have to, but I mean, the secret we're talking about is revealed early in the film. It's just that it's something you should see fresh in a perfect world. And it does make the movie a little more challenging to market, both for the actors who are, talking, on the Today Show, wherever they pop up, and also the push itself. But to me, the movie really is about a young couple in love, and one of them has a past. And how important is it that we know the past, process the past, and think, well, maybe they moved on from that particular low point. I mean, that's the struggle here. It just so happens to be a pretty incendiary topic. But what I've noticed is that the media has been kind of attacking the film in a way. I actually wrote about this at Hollywood and Toto. There were two different news outlets. I think one of them was USA Today, essentially, quoting gun control rights experts saying, well, I don't know if you can do this. Well, if you haven't seen the movie, and they haven't, this is treated very seriously. And it's not glib, and it's not a rah rah ha ha funny. It has some darkly comic moments for sure, but I don't think it's mistreated. I think it's treated with the reverence it deserves. So for all those reasons, it feels a little bit like a big to do about nothing. But
well, let me ask you this, Christian.
Was misleading. I get that.
One of the reasons that I was so interested in your opinion on this is because the headline you have here on Hollywood and Toto, which everybody should go to this website and bookmark it for the browser. It's an amazing website. Your coverage is great. But I love this. The drama is the date movie from hell. So why exactly would you define it this way? Do you think people are going on dates to see this maybe and they walk away going, wow, that was not a make-out movie?
Well, I mean, exactly. It's funny. I once had a date. I think it was our first date for a movie called Happiness. It's a director, Todd Solondz, and it was probably the worst date movie of all time. And I chose it. I had no idea, walked right into it. So these things happen. But, while that's a fun headline I wrote, it really is true. This is not a romantic movie in a traditional sense. This is a couple that seems like they're waiting for their big day. Everything's exciting and new. They're tasting wine. They're prepping the musicians. And then this atom bomb of an issue comes forth. So it's not oh gosh, I want to take my date to the movie. This is actually a movie for long-standing couples, perhaps, who understand the rhythms of marriage and dating and relationships, and they could survive and appreciate what they're going through. So yeah, it presents a challenge to market this movie. You got two attractive people in the lead roles. I don't know. It feels like it's being oddly attacked or even weaponized to push a gun control narrative in a way, which I don't think.
Oh no, that's interesting. I had not considered that, the issue of how the two sides are going to react to that message from a Norwegian filmmaker.
It's not so much what you see on screen. It's what I read in those articles, because they reached out to this Everytown for Gun Safety, and they had the people who founded that group, and they actually talked to the students who lived through school shootings. And I mean, I can't imagine the horror they went through. But, if you're going to make a movie about cancer, and then I know my dad died of cancer, it's going to land differently with me. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we should sort of take a school shooting survivor and have he or she kind of weigh in so aggressively, because they have a unique and horrible circumstance. And anything with this topic is going to be a very tough sell for them.
So let's talk about that, because this is not presented in the marketing. And I guess that's, you say you weren't paying much attention to the marketing.
Yeah.
I've paid attention to it to some degree, just because we're interested in it. I guess it crossed paths with the statements from Zendaya that she was going to take a break. And so we looked at the marketing a little bit.
Yeah.
The critique coming out of Hot Air is this, and I take this seriously. It says the Post, and I assume that's the New York Post, not the Washington Post, but maybe, says it decided to spoil it because they think something this gruesome probably shouldn't be a surprise for a bunch of teens who bought a ticket to see the Twilight vampire guy in a rom-com.
No, I disagree with that completely. I mean, it kind of harkens back to trigger warnings. Like, we can't handle art.
Right.
We can handle art. School shootings, sadly, are the norm in society, and they're awful. But you can see a movie where that is a significant theme.
But do you think, Christian, that it should have been presented to people that, hey, that's what this movie is about? Or do you think it's okay to really surprise the audience when they go in there and they expect one thing, they get something else, and it is something that is a difficult topic?
I think that the element of surprise matters here. I think it's important. I have no problem with them hiding it. Now, I think the different issue was the marketing sort of pushing the whole two pretty people, it's their wedding day, oh, something happens, oopsie. That's a possibility. Again, I haven't studied that side of it enough. I need to go back and watch the trailer.
Well, right, because
listen, this is something you should get caught flat-footed for in a perfect world, honestly.
So that's an aspect I hadn't even considered in all of this, because oftentimes the people who are marketing a movie maybe care a little less about the actual content of the movie. They're trying to sell an image of, this is the product we believe that you want.
Yeah.
And they'll go for that more than they will an accurate representation of what the film is. So it was a film called, I think it was The Last Castle. that was, I want to say it's Robert Redford, and it was a movie about an uprising at a prison. And I saw 4 different marketing campaigns that were very much targeted towards different people. One of them tried to make it look like it was the Dirty Dozen for kids who would have been in high school in the 2000s. Another one tried to play it as a Robert Redford drama. I remember around that same time, I went on a date with a girl to go see what I thought was a romantic comedy about a guy who falls in love with the pregnant girl that works at a fast food restaurant. And it turns out it was actually a dark comedy about 2 Apache helicopter pilots whose mother put them up to murdering their dad. And Catherine O'Hara plays the matriarch of the family, and she's quite good in it, and it's hilarious. But it's the exact opposite of a date movie that's a romantic comedy that, you know, it's like those ethereal themes about love that get played in the music over the trailer versus, you know, one of the Busey brothers and Luke Owens trying to plot how to kill somebody to make their mom happy.
I mean, this isn't the first time a movie marketing campaign either aggressively or quietly misled the audience. They're looking to kind of get eyeballs and get people in the seats. And sometimes that could be, there's some sleight of hand in play. I just don't like this whole thing where we have to protect the consumer. And also, you know, if you do want to spend your money on a movie, you shouldn't just watch the trailer. Maybe you do a little more research. I mean, you're going to be in the theater. It's a commitment. I don't know. I mean, we've seen movies that are supposed to be great and they're terrible, and that's a letdown. We've seen movies that seem to be one way. That's another. I just watched a movie called Outcome. It's a new Apple TV movie with Keanu Reeves that was billed as a comedy. I didn't laugh once. I mean, should I request my money back even though I didn't pay for it? I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're all being a little too precious in this one. And by the way, I want to read Sexton's piece because I love him as a writer. He's one of my favorite writers. So I'm very curious to see deep down what he had to say about it because I respect him a lot.
Matt, what was Outcome supposed to be a comedy?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Nat, what are your thoughts on this one in terms of, you know, the marketing and what happens? You've got, you know, people who think they're going to see something that's along the lines of Gigli and instead they're going to see Saving Private Ryan. I don't think it's not that extreme. I'm being hyperbolic on purpose for humor's sake. But Nat, what do you think about the idea of marketing teams either needing to present what's accurate, or maybe there is value, as Christian is perhaps suggesting, that there is value in keeping it secret and letting people be surprised when they go to the cinema?
Well, I think they also did this recently with Wuthering Heights, because I saw a lot of people from the literature world being really annoyed about the fact that they also presented it specifically as a rom-com without all the added issues that come. Not that it's a good or a bad movie. I'm not giving an opinion on it, but I will continue to try to defend actual good rom-coms that don't have a hidden message or are not lecturing me and they're just about love like they used to be, because we haven't seen any in a long time and only Netflix makes really bad ones.
Okay, well, that's a great point I had not thought of. So part of what might be in this, and I could be missing this because I'm not the demographic for rom-coms, but maybe it's because we haven't had almost any really, you know, good rom-coms. They're being sent to streaming. They're not going to cinema. And so maybe there's a longing for that. And that kind of got mixed in with the expectations here.
I'll throw one in there. Actually, Solo Mio was not bad. It was a perfectly serviceable rom-com. It was well marketed by Kevin James. He did a social media campaign that was really good for it. There was a story behind it. There was a narrative behind it. They marketed it on Instagram, that's a very female-leaning platform and a female-leaning market offering there. And it wasn't surprising as far as what the plot ends up being, but it also was enough that it was funny and it was amusing and it was about love. It didn't make a ton of money, but setting the budget accordingly means they actually made money on that film, where I think a film with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, probably the unless they're giving them participation on the back end or something like that, they probably can't afford to have them do a straight romantic comedy that's like, well, we just hope everybody leaves with a good feeling about love. I don't feel like that's the kind of movie either of those two actors are interested in this point in their career. And so that leaves it to Kevin James.
I actually just watched the trailer for this movie, I think last week on Amazon, and I added it to my wish list or my watch list because it looked interesting.
It's good and it's fun, and we watched it for free because we had the Angel Studios thing for it. So,
but Nat, we can't name off a bunch of rom-coms. Maybe there is a dearth of this genre that once upon a time was a staple in cinemas.
Think of Barbie.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, as you were just starting to say, think of Barbie. But again, they had the message in there as well. But I think that is where the female audience actually is. They don't want to accept it, and they don't want to cater to it completely. And it always has to come in with a message and the darkness and something else. But now I'm also wondering about the marketing for this one. There were several of those kinds of events kind of recently, one up in Canada and British Columbia, and another one over kind of the winter break. So I don't know when they were starting to plan or when they actually launched their marketing campaign, but they might have tried to avoid starting right when those events were just happening or very fresh in people's minds. Maybe that would have been a way to avoid having to put it up front that it's about
Perhaps
that.
so. Kara, help us think about Barbie. What were you going to say there?
Oh, I was just thinking, I think Barbie was an example of that rom-com, chick flick kind of void that we've had in cinema recently. I think that was kind of proof that women are wanting to show up for those, and that I think people were. I mean, I honestly, I haven't seen the trailer for the drama. I've only seen ads for it here and there on social media, but I haven't actually seen a trailer for it. So I think that if I were to go to a movie, usually whenever I'm looking at Fandango or whatever site I'm in, I'm going to see what genre of movie it's going to be. Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it that's on me to kind of do that little research to see if it's something that I would be interested in. With me, if I see something as a horror movie, I'm probably not going to go see that in theaters because I'm a coward and I would rather watch that from my couch. But it's one of those, I think Barbie is the proof that it's wanted. It's just got to be good content for us to really enjoy it.
And I also think, building on that, that's where The Devil Wears Prada 2 comes in, because that is, that was the most viewed trailer last year. It's a 20-year-old sequel, or 20 years in the making, and it's going to be huge. And there is a pent-up demand, and I'm taking a female friend who's going to see the movie with me, and she wants to dress up. And that's what people did with Barbie. They want to dress up and experience it and go have fun. And there have been very few films, apparently, that really speak to the female demographic in that fashion. Light, funny, kind of frothy, a little bit of nostalgia built in. And that's what Prada is going to have in spades right now.
I hope so. I've already told my husband that we're going to see Devil Wears Prada 2. So he's like, is there popcorn? I'm good. We'll go. That's fine.
All right. Now, Christian, as someone who's seen the film, and I want people to go over here and read what you've got to say on Hollywood in Toto, but just briefly, do you think this is the kind of movie that people need to go watch? Is this worth their time in the cinemas?
I think it's worth their time. I don't think they need to watch it. I thought it was a satisfying film. I think the key plot point is fascinating. I think it was a little bit glib. The last third of the movie went in a direction I didn't find fully satisfying. And I think that when you bring up a topic of that consequence, the script has really got to be strong, and it's got to be emotionally, I guess, insightful. And I didn't think it was quite that good, but fine performances, an interesting idea, something I hadn't seen before. And again, it just makes you think about relationships and what we can forgive in a partner and what we can't. And that's interesting. It's a really thought-provoking idea. Now, they take it to an extreme in a way, but it could have been something else. It could have been something else in this character's life that was really ugly and damaged, and her future husband needs to process it. I thought that was really compelling.
Boy, and that's something that across a wide gamut of relationships, humans deal with all the time. The ideal versus what you really have.
Exactly.
The transitioning from what you thought to what is reality. And then can you forgive that which you may not have even been involved in others' lives? What a great conversation. Folks, thanks for being a part of it. Christian, Nat, Kara, and yes, even you, Jonas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that our Super Chat goal counter brokified And now we've got it fixed. I know you all wanted us to set it at 1, but it won't go that low. So we've set it at 5. We'll hit that, and we appreciate it, and we'll get the Clipathon out. But before we go to Super Chats right now to celebrate our great community, we have to say goodbye. We have to say adios, au revoir to one Carolyn. She's going to be playing, what is it, Pokemon, Digimon? What are you playing this eve, Kara?
Oh, I don't know. I think X-Ray and I are going to be selling some drugs on Schedule 1. I think that's actually what we're going to be playing tonight. We're going to go sell some narcotics on Schedule 1. It's actually a really fun simulator
In
game.
Minecraft, YouTube, in Minecraft.
Hey, folks.
The game is called Schedule 1 is what we're playing. I
For
promise.
those of our viewers who have the means and the abilities, clip that out of context. We beg you.
X-Ray and I are going to go sell some drugs on Schedule 1.
We didn't need the last part. It's okay. All right, Kara, we'll see you real soon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys. Christian, it was nice to meet. I think this is the first time we've actually been on a show together.
Yeah.
But it was nice to finally meet you face to face ish.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Same here.
Y'all have a great day, and I will I'll catch you guys later.
Thank you, Kara, and thank you for everything you do. All right, Jonas, it's time for what you do, and you do it so well, that thing you do. How about some Super Chats, sir?
Snarky D for 5. Attitude of gratitude. I love y'all. Thanks again. Thank you so much, Snarky, for the 10 WDW Pro memberships.
That is so kind. I mean, really and truly, thank you, Snarky, once again.
I want to hear it.
Not right now.
Yes, now, Dusty Bun.
Wait. Okay.
You're the one who's out of this world, sweet baby. You're the one who's out of this world.
An attitude of gratitude for everything you all do.
Packing Protons for $2. What do Pokemon in Heat sound like, Jonas? I don't know. Something that makes all the Pokemon boys go, whah. The First Dragon Queen for 5. Pro's track record for asking people who know about subjects. 0 for 3. Showbiz, animatronics, and now Pokemon. I was trying to repair a stove. Hugs for all.
Now, wait a minute. You all knew that Nat and I know almost nothing about Pokemon. We prepped you for that. We told you how we were going to play that bit, and I think we did it pretty darn well. Nat, you seem to like an expert on all things Nintendo, even if I did not.
No, I'm not, but I know some names, and I know there's cards. That's
we know about
there's expensive cards as well.
We know about your Squirgles and Charmards and what I don't know. We got it.
You gotta catch them all.
Yeah. I got a Charizard Illustrator card the other day, and a Mew EX looked like a holo foil. You know, I was just.
Can you play those in the game?
I don't think so.
Try it sometime.
Snarky D for 5. Beautiful woman, not the A-lister they want us to accept her as. I appreciate the relationship publicity her and Holland take. It's better than most. I think we're talking about Zendaya.
I call her Zendaya. I don't know.
I think it's Zendaya.
Yeah.
Come on, Jonas.
I've heard it both ways. Smith & Sons became a YouTube member at the Pro Gold level.
Welcome aboard and happy gold. That means you'll be getting access to videos before they release and enjoy that early access.
England DG for $2. False advertising. How do you think I got married?
By the way, folks, no false advertising here. Don't forget that if you're a member of the channel, next week we're putting out beta access to the brand new game releasing from our studios here. So you'll get access to the brand new video game next week. Beta access for all members of the channel.
Patrick Genaway for 5. New category, dark rom-com. You know, there's probably some things that could be added to that overall. There's the Zom rom-com, which includes Shaun of the Dead, and also what's the other one? Warm Bodies with Nicholas Hoult.
Are zombies out now? Zombies were all the rage for about 10, 15 years. Is that done now? Have we moved on?
Days Later sequels did not do well, so you might be right.
Yeah, poor zombies.
Packing Protons for. Go ahead, Chris.
Back to the crypt for them. Sorry.
Yeah, well, they ran out of good brains to eat.
You know that zombie and robot actually have linguistically the same origin. So zombies and robots, actually the same thing when you go back to it. Packing Protons for 10. My high school crush and the one that got away got to see the Mighty Ducks and Captain Ron with me for a date movie. Have not seen either since. The Crush or those movies?
Boy, I had a bad date going to see Stuart Little. We'll tell that story one day. But you know, it's funny how sometimes what happens beside you at a theater or while you're watching a film can really shade the way you look back. I get a shiver up my spine just hearing the name Stuart Little now.
Trigger warning.
You know, he's not a mouse. He's just a very small person that looks like a mouse.
You know, when somebody tries to hold your hand and you repeatedly give every indication that, no, I don't really want to do that. And it just doesn't stop it and it doesn't block it. Oh, Stuart Little.
Oh my, bro. Oh my. England DG for $2. Rom-com recommendation for Christmas. Love Hard.
Oh my.
Okay. Patrick Ganaway for $5. One for the dark rom-com goal.
Hey-o.
Very much. Snarky D for $5. Culture.
Huh.
There you go.
Is Culture showing up?
I don't think he is today. Bruce Newhouse for $5. I don't trust Hollywood or corporate media on honest reviews. I check a Christian parent review site and you guys. I want escapism, comedy, adventure. In the words of Tom Hanks in That Thing You Do, I want something peppy, something snappy. None of this lover's lament crap.
Christian, what you don't know is I knew if I set up That Thing You Do, I knew he could not leave it alone. He would have to come back to it. He has to quote the film. If I set it up and I was amazed, but 5 minutes later, there he is.
I was just waiting for the opportunity. It's a great film. And I am going to win that blue ribbon over at the Hagen Pavilion.
Doing that thing you do.
Patrick Ganaway for $5. Yet one more plus.
Thank you.
And then gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships.
That's awesome.
Oh, Joe Miller, you just found the marble in the oatmeal. You're a lucky, lucky, lucky little boy, because you know why? You get to drink from the fire hose! Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Kane and Barnes for 10. Hi, all. Found some interesting news. Florida Attorney General is launching an investigation into OpenAI and their activities surrounding young people. I bet Disney's glad they're not working with them for multiple reasons. Yes.
Well, you just know, I don't have the info in front of me right now to look and see what it is they're investigating. I would probably surmise, but I'm speculating right now. You'll know more than I do, Cannon. But I bet it has to do with the language models, the chat version of ChatGPT, and what it's suggesting to young people when they're using it for a friend or therapy or to get answers about major life decisions and sometimes unlife decisions.
Yeah. That's what's it? Arthur Weasley in the Harry Potter books says, never trust a thing when you don't know where its brain is stored. Silent Watcher for $5. Packing Protons sent a super chat when the timer was down. This is to make up for it. Well, that's not very silent of you, but thank you very much. Christian Coriejo for $5 American dollars. Random questions. If we're now recommending AI music videos, have any of you seen A Million Amelias by Skybrows?
I have not, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah. Also, what AI tools do you recommend? I don't really have any AI tools that I go for other than asking Grok a couple of questions there, like, hey, here's a math problem for you. Go ahead and do it for me.
So if you're doing video gen, if that's the question, there's really two that are in the lead right now, in my opinion. That's Grok Imagine and then Cdance. Cdance is much harder to get access to. Grok Imagine is more friendly to those who are just getting interested. And then in terms of audio gen, there's really only one game in town right now, and that's Suno. Beyond that, do we have AI tools that we recommend? Well, they're expensive, but if you're wanting to get into image AI stuff, the embedded modules inside the latest Photoshop, very impressive, very powerful. But again, you're going to have to pay to grab that, and that's a professional tool that not everybody wants to be involved in. There's some video stuff, I believe, in Premiere that's really impressive that AI can do. But again, you're going to pay a lot of money to get into a professional space with Adobe Premiere.
All right. That is Jonas de Grok. What is 2 + 2? Yep. Stafka John for $2. Sorry, I am late. My proctologist pooped out on me.
I think you've got it the opposite way there. I think the situation was reversed, but who knows? Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, though, there's one thing for sure, and that is we have reached the end but not quite yet. For we have one more story on the way. Let's hit it, folks. We'll win it for you. James Gunn is reportedly facing heat, and he is fighting back in a big way, going all the way back to early March with Bounding Into Comics, and it feels so good to say Bounding Into Comics is back on the page here. Will James Gunn become DC's Taylor Sheridan? His conspicuous absence from David Ellison's first meeting explained. So we're putting this up here just to remind you that there have been some questions since Skydance bought out Warner Brothers, okay? So there's some questions about how these two guys are going to play together. And James Gunn has been acting oddly. How oddly? Well, if we go to AV Club, now we're caught up to today. James Gunn immediately shuts down reports of Man of Tomorrow screen tests. This by Drew Gillis. It says the director called out the shoddy and incorrect reporting of Deadline, which maintains that Adrian, how do we pronounce this, Jonas Christian? Do you guys know Adria Arjona? Is that right? Arjona?
Adria Arjona.
Adria Arjona is in the running for the Superman sequel. And says that, well, this article from AV Club basically says that Deadline made a report. They're sticking by it. They say that it's true. And James Gunn came out and just absolutely ripped them a new one. Jonas, you and I were talking about this yesterday, just how ferociously James Gunn came out and responded. Tell the folks out there, what was it that James Gunn said regarding Deadline?
So this is funny. He kind of hit two sites at the same time. He was going after Nexus News, who was repeating Deadline's reporting. So he went after Nexus Point News and then said, usually Deadline is known for their thorough reporting, and that this is disappointing that they would do this without reaching out to him or something to that effect. I don't know what it is, but James Gunn is a little too open with the audience. You know, in the age of authenticity on the internet, I think if he's going to run an entire studio, he probably needs to get off of his phone.
Maybe so. That Park Place reporting Deadline changes tune on Man of Tomorrow story, but just know they're shifting a little bit, but they're sticking with the meat of it after James Gunn calls their reporting shoddy and incorrect. Now, what I don't understand about this is you would think that he would be excited that there are rumors and theories happening. I mean, every franchise, every film has all of these rumors and stories, and that contributes to the kaleidoscope of fans being interested in something. 90% of it's probably wrong and nonsense. But this time, James Gunn decides to get in. Now, it gets even more dramatic because our best friend, our bestie, Grace Randolph, who we went years not talking about, now she's back again, and she's weighing in on Deadline, and boy, did it get dramatic, because now Grace Randolph is alleging that James Gunn is using insiders at publications such as The Wrap to do his dirty work and you know, put out the narratives that he wants. Here's Grace. The volume may be a little bit wonky here, but listen in.
He has a very strong contact over at The Wrap, actually. So The Wrap kind of does a lot of his dirty work and correction work.
So this is where we are now. People are starting to weigh in on defending Deadline and claiming that James Gunn is in the middle of the press. And, you know, he's actually got people that are carrying the water for what he wants people to believe about his movies. And all of this, I just think to myself, and Christian, I'll go to you first as the expert on all things box office. You got to get Supergirl right. Like, that's all that matters. If Supergirl doesn't make a lot of money at the box office, James Gunn is in a world of hurt at DC, and maybe he doesn't want to be there anyway, but get that right and get out of this nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a defensive posture with Supergirl, which is upsetting and arguably a bad sign or bad omen for what's coming up this summertime. And part of this is, listen, James Gunn, to me, I'm not a fan. I've liked some of his earlier work, but he just seems like an overgrown teenager. And I think it's one of the reasons why he's conducting himself in this fashion. And going to war with Deadline over this, it seems like a weird hill to die in as well. So, like you said, I think some of the conversations around these superhero films is actually kind of a good thing. It's feeding, you know, Twitter threads, and it's kind of getting people interested and engaged in it. So I don't know why he's been so apoplectic about it, but that's kind of who he is. And I found it endearing for about 5 minutes. I'm kind of over it, and partly because I just found last year's Superman movie so disappointing and so beneath the greatness of the character. So, you know, given the fact that Supergirl is already sort of in woke mode as far as their marketing campaigns, none of this seems like a good thing. The listen, Superman did get some momentum, did get some box office. I think you want to build on that with Supergirl and whatever they got next. I just feel like it's dissipating as we speak.
Well, and attacking the media, it's like, listen, they're going to review Supergirl. What are you doing, man? Yeah. Like, do you really want to make enemies right now? I just don't know what the point is. How many times have we heard rumors about Star Wars? How many times have we heard rumors about Marvel? And Kevin Feige does not jump in and say, oh, you've been told that, who even knows, name a character. Rocket's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Lies, I tell you, they're peddling lies in the trades. Like, it's a trade. What are you doing, man?
Right.
What are you doing?
You want the attention. So there's something internally that we were talking about about this interview, or at least I've been talking about it. And I don't know if I'm getting on the writer's nerves with this. There is a 20 to 30 minute interview from IGN with the writers of One Piece, the live action, and it is without them sitting down in a shiny studio with somebody from Collider there just blowing smoke as they all talk about the great time they had on set in that disingenuous way. It's item after item of, yes, we went back to the manga, we have the rights to the manga, not the anime. This is the thing we're doing. We're being creative on set. The original creator of this is showing up on set, and sometimes he hands us pages that override our pages. And he learned how to use their script writing software so that he could help them in all of this. And you can see the excitement. You can tell that they're trying very hard to please the fans, even though there's so many things that they could latch on to and have those same kind of narratives that we've heard around Moses Ingram in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, or that stuff with the Acolyte, or whatever in the world Variety is doing. I hope it's not on DC's behalf, but they're doing it to DC's films here with the Millie Alcock narratives that are coming out of this film, where they try to say, not every film is for everybody. But I'm sorry, at the budgetary points that you're going for right now for these films, yes, they actually do need to be for everybody. We're seeing the difference in positive marketing with Super Mario Brothers and with One Piece and Project Hail Mary. And we still have this remnant of like, it's about time for you to get with that program, James, that you don't need to be battling with the fans. In fact, there are people who have fueled 400 YouTube thumbnails like Brie Larson, who are being spoken about positively in the market now because they are able to move past this idea that their ego has to be stroked at every single moment. There's a reason that Nerdrotic calls that movie Superman's James Gunn as opposed to James Gunn's Superman, because James Gunn can't get out of his own way and stop and put down the phone and just go make a movie, maybe a real positive one. You make movies about losers who do great things. Just do that, and everyone will love you if you stop talking about it so much on Twitter.
That's a good point.
Just recently, we saw Chris Pratt was thanking fans for seeing the new Super Mario movie. And then Ryan Gosling, after the success of Project Hail Mary, said, hey, it's up to us in Hollywood to make the great movies that want to make you go to the theater. And then he's going to meet with a soap opera actors who he was a fan of a million years ago. Just sweet, positive, uplifting. It's not rocket science, but they can't seem to get it right.
And yet, when they do that, and this is what we tell them to do over and over and over, and I know you do too, Christian, when they do it, they made $500 million in a single week between those two films.
Yeah.
$500 million, like just do that over and over again, and yet they can't get out of their own way. James Gunn the same way. Nat, as we're looking at Supergirl, I just don't see it making more than $400 million. Maybe I'm wrong. But if Superman couldn't make, barely over $600 million, I just don't know where we go except for a place the next year where James Gunn's going to be under a lot of heat. And people are going to start wondering, how much longer do the Ellisons stay with this? And I don't know the answer to that. How long do you think James Gunn has in this life raft he's in right now?
Well, if he keeps lashing out, not that much. And that's the thing. It might just be an indicator that he is really upset about how Superman turned out, that it didn't get the giant reception he thought it would just because it's Superman. But again, he almost, I wouldn't say fully disrespected the character, but did take away from the might that is Superman, that brought that it could bring to the movie. And now with Supergirl, it seems like he's might be trying to do the exact same opposite, which is also not what audiences are looking for. And back to the point of the directors, actors, etc., kind of getting out of their way and just doing the positive promotion of movies. Please go see it, and thank you so much for going to see it. While that might work for him, there was also a reason back then, not that it was good or bad, back in the heyday of Hollywood, where those things were a lot more controlled. And now with social media and James Gunn having his phone in his hand the whole time, it might be a bit harder for everybody to tell him, hey, stop and get out of your own way, as you were saying.
Right. You know what? You know what I like to ask every now and then is, hey, everybody, what are Chris Hemsworth's political views?
I have no
Ryan Gosling's political views. Right.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You're saying that we do know James Gunn's political? Oh, we do. And Mark Ruffalo, too.
Right.
And Mark Hamill. Oh, yeah.
We know too much about him.
Way too much. Way too much. Christian, what are you hearing? Anything at all about James Gunn and what's going on right now with Warner Brothers? Is he safe over there, or that contract ends, next year?
I wouldn't call him safe, that's for sure. Also, there's lots of change going on behind the scenes. That's never good. Listen, generically speaking, whenever a new owner takes over a company, they want their people in charge, and that's a problem for Gunn too. I don't think any of this is helping matters. And I mean, we just rebooted the DCU. I mean, we got to do it again. I mean, I don't even understand it. And yeah, lots riding on Supergirl.
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask you about. Is that in particular, like, if somebody else takes it over, do we actually start over again?
Well, they haven't even gotten around to rebooting Batman.
Yeah,
we're just hearing that they're starting production on Batman 2, which was one reboot ago already. That was
at least that makes it easier.
James Gunn got into DC Studios.
I did this whole reboot mania drives me crazy. I mean, I'm still wrapping my mind around. They did really good Harry Potter films, and we're going to get them again. I still can't even process that, but there is demand for it. So I mean, the audience is weighing in on these things. So that's, I could critique Hollywood to the cows come home, but it's clear that people want more Harry Potter, even though they got those movies. So they're just going to keep redoing these superheroes. I mean, how many Batmen have we seen in the last 10 years? It's staggering in a way.
That it is. Well, folks, we'll keep track of James Gunn, but it could be staggering the level that this man drops. If he drops out of Warner Brothers, where would he go? Where would he go? MCU? Maybe, but they're not looking like gravy these days either. All right, Jonas, it's time for the final roundup of those great super chats. What do we see?
Yep, Christian Coriejo for 5. Do you have to have an X account in order to use Grok? Honestly, I don't want another social media account, having grown to hate social media as a whole. I actually think that you can go directly to the Grok website and get an account. I hear the Tesla owners have Grok accounts as well. So, no, I don't think you have to have a X account to do that.
Grok.com.
Yep. England DG for $2. DC equals destroying content.
Ouch.
Also, they are DC Comics, so they are Detective Comics. So, what if Superman really was the big one? Would they then be AC Comics? England DG for 5. Y'all are wrong. It happens often. The last thing I want is to feel inspired, introspective, or excited after a movie. More Yo Mama jokes and progressive plots, please. It feels like a Last Jedi reference to me.
Subvert my expectations every single time. That's what everybody's lining up to go see in theaters.
All right, that is the end of the super chats for now, unless we have somebody that's here that just wants to trap us in this live stream square on their screens.
Well, Jonas, that has been suggested in the past, but I would not say we should go with that. Folks, what you should do is go and subscribe as fast as you can to Nat from Nat and the Guy. Get over to the channel, Nat and the Guy, both in the English and Spanish versions, especially if you speak Spanish. Nat, tell the folks out there, what do you got coming up soon on your channel?
Thank you so much. We've been covering Alberta independence. We do a live show now, Monday to Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. And we just talk all about Alberta independence. So go follow there and in Spanish. how Mexico is doing right now. But thank you so much for having me again.
Wonderful. And it was an honor to have you as always. Also, Christian Toto runs one of the most impressive websites out there, but he's also got a podcast that is at least that impressive. Hollywood in Toto. Christian, tell them what you're covering in the days ahead.
Yeah, I should have by tomorrow a new podcast episode with Roger Simon. He's the co-founder of PJ Media. He's an Oscar-nominated screenwriter, and he's got a new book called Emmett. It's about the rise of anti-Semitism. It ties into Jewish lore. There's a golem involved, and we had a great conversation about a lot of different topics on Hollywood and elsewhere. So do check that out this week.
Phenomenal. And Jonas J. Campbell, you are doing all kinds of things behind the scenes that people don't even know about, but big announcements down the way one day. So, Jonas, is there one thing you could tell us that, that can be made public? Anything at all? Where do you part your hair? What do you do? Where are you eating tonight?
Tomorrow at noon, that Park Place will have another episode of Extra Magic with Jonas and Marv. We still haven't locked down what all of our topics are, but it's always a riot. So be there and be square.
That's right. All right, folks, you earned it. You helped us win a Super Chat goal, and that means it's time for a clip-a-thon. We'll play it, then the outro. Thank you, folks. See you real soon. And have a good one out there.
A giant warehouse of spatulas for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And because we eliminate the middleman, we can sell all our spatulas factory direct to you. Where do you go when you want to buy name brand spatulas at a fraction of retail cost? Spatula City! Spatula City! And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale.
I like their spatulas so much, I bought the company.
Spatula City, 7 locations. We're in the yellow pages under
Such pain.
Amps, mics, the works. Now go on, get. Breaks my heart. Boy, that young going bad.
Lauren, I need to let you down gently. I told you to keep our relationship off the panel. It's over, Lauren. But I'll always remember the hat.
I found the man who lives the life I need. Please hide tight, Harry. Will you marry me? He's high tight, Harry. And he should
What a
marry
perfect
me.
day for a stroll with you, my dear.
It's magical.
You know, I was stopped one day when the little boy asked, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?"
No! It can't be. What is it? It can't be. What did you do, Ray?
And I had to admit I do not draw anymore.
No more.
Well, then you think up all the jokes and ideas. No, I said I don't do that. Finally, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Disney, just what do you do?" Well, I said, sometimes I think of myself as a little bee.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint.
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.